All right, there it is. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Freestyle Market Friday. All right, small little rendition that we're gonna try out and test out. Of course, given the time we could be on Fridays. Right. Shout out to everybody. Peace, power, and profit to you guys today. I already got the family coming in the building here on the panel side, as well as the YouTube, possibly on Twitter or Facebook. If you kind of checking in with the family today, we appreciate you guys. As we say, we appreciate your viewership, right, and your patronage to this channel, to this community, to this movement, if you will, right, financial literacy, right. So happy to be here again for whatever little time I have here, but we're gonna make the best of it. Didn't necessarily have a drawn out, plan or procedure to kind of go by today. Just more so speaking to what we've witnessed thus far in the market this week. Closing out Q2, it is officially in the books. My Q1 high in the market stands, which I still have pinned to my Facebook channel or Facebook page, if you will. That 462 is still the high for the year, right? The real high of the year, right? And now we have just a mountain of different problems to deal with. Now, more money, more problems, right? In this case, it's probably less money, more problems because the stock market is surely draining a lot of these overreaching portfolios. But nonetheless, we're gonna speak to it as we've been doing, and we've been very adamant in giving people different ways to look at the market, meaning other avenues you may want to look into, because we know that this is a picker's market, right? Quote unquote, a picker's market, not necessarily just throw a dart at the board and see what sticks type of market. We left that lunacy back in 2020, somewhat in 2021, and now we're at a place now where we have to put on our thinking caps, right? And start really formulating some really good thesis orientated trades or investments if you want, growth and longevity to really befall you as a person who's serious about this craft. So, all right. So with that being said, again, happy to have y'all here again. Shout out Oba Brandon in the building, Oba Chris Woods in the house on the panel and also on the backside of the YouTube's Miss Monica Lamb in the building today. Tri-City Visionaries in the house today. Happy to have her in the house, right? You guys come through, right? Like, I got my celebrity, friends in the building today, right? You guys celebrities, man. Keep telling y'all be dumbing it down, but y'all celebrities, man. All right. Happy to have you guys here. Shout out to brother Mathis in the house too. I see him already on the YouTube side of things. Peace, power, and profit to you as well today, Hope, as well, Oba. I'm about to call you Hove, like Jay-Z, right? Or you might just be Hove, right? Shout out to you as well. And like I say, and anybody who may be listening in. So again, just gonna come on, speak to a few things, have an open panel discussion. It is Freestyle Friday from that perspective. So if you want to come on to the panel, it is open mic night, right? Anything you want to get off your chest, because we can speak about Roe versus Wade, the financial beef that's starting to happen in these YouTube and also financial streets, right? From the analyst side all the way down to the YouTubers, right? And also the elephant in the room, in this case, the big bear in the room, is what? Recession, right? Recession, or recessive, right? Recession, right? Because these markets are very recessive right now. They are definitely regressing, right? And so it is what it is, right? But nonetheless, again, while some of you guys may be getting off work or already off work or probably getting comfortable in your favorite recliner chair, maybe flipping through the channels on, your little, TVs or whatnot, or just scrolling through, your little phones or whatever. If you are able to tune in, we're happy to have you, come through, hang out with the fam, right? Get on the panel, man. Speak your speech, man. Speak to what you've been seeing, what you're witnessing, what you are taking from all this course, with all this data that's been coming out, speaking to that of the somewhat the strength of this economy or the lack thereof. We're becoming more and more, desensitized to all the Wall Street fluff, right? They've been trying to sing a sad song, behind the scenes, but in front of the camera, they're like, hey, everything is great, everything is great. Stay risk on, right? But behind the scenes, they're fighting with each other. It's getting messy out there, right? You got people outright calling the Federal Reserve, to their face, like they just complete Ponzi, right? Ponzi scheme orchestrators, right? I saw somebody was on live TV, actually on a financial TV, broadcast and basically put that out there, right? The Federal Reserve is a Ponzi. I was like, wow, that's the first. And I guess it happened so fast they couldn't cut it, right? They couldn't edit it out. All right. So shout out to people who's going, straight gangster with it, right? So we know people like George Gammon and the likes of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and and all those type, they've always been adamant about letting you know who the Federal Reserve is. So I guess it is about that time of year now when people get serious about calling out these so-called, these people. All right, so what's up? So we got Sister Monica in the building, over Chris, over Jeremy in the house as well. How you guys doing today? Shout out to you all today on this Friday, Freestyle Market Friday. All right, what's going on, guys? You guys open up.
Peace, power, and profit.
Peace, power, and profit.
Hello. What's going on, over Jeremy? So you came in the building too. Shout out to you as well, over Jeremy.
I'm not doing nothing. I'm still at work.
You're getting that other money, right? You're getting that two money, right? Two money. That's what I'm talking about. Making moves regardless, right? We all. That's it, man. About that life, about that, about that opportunity, right? So shout out to you as well. Oba Brandon popped in the building. Shout out Oba Brandon. What's going on, Oba?
Hey, what's going on, family? How y'all doing?
I'm doing well, man. Just happy to have you guys in here again, my celebrity pals, right? Right. We, speaking our speech a little bit, just having a little, again, Freestyle Market Friday. Again, for those who may be tuning in, may just can listen and can't type right or whatever, we still happy to have you here. So as the theme, sets in motion here, setting this thing in motion, just using this different little backdrop here. Of course, this is the thumbnail of the day, right? Coming in from, having come out of Q2 into now Q3, and I think we could officially pat ourselves on the back and say that, we've been very consistent in calling this market the best way we can. Now, that necessarily always don't translate to us making millions of dollars. We get it. But this is a game of being able to put two and two together to come up with an understanding of what's really going on around you, market-wise, right? Not just that, but even within our own households, right? Our own tribal spaces where we can speak to the energy of the economics, right? To those who may be layman to this stuff, and you can help explain to them exactly what's going on, right? So they may be feeling it at the grocery store, they may be feeling it at the gas pump, they may be feeling it when it comes to their utility bills, right? Things of that nature. And we are a little bit more well equipped to speak to that, right? Help them understand what's really going on if they can't make sense of it all, right? So I say pat yourselves on the back for that, because again, you're never going to get a clear-cut, precise story if those who are in the business of keeping this information shielded or at least watered down, they're never going to tell the complete truth, right? So it's up to you guys to do that, right? It's up to you all to do that. So without further ado, guys, like I said, I'm not going to be on crazy long, but we're going to jump right into it. Again, it's an open mic scenario here. If it's on your mind, let it rip, right? Let it fly, right? All right. So within the topics course or the cadre of topics course recession, of course, we got this Roe versus Wade thing. They up in arms with that, right? What's going on, Oba Ramsey? See you in the building as well. Of course, like I say, this financial stuff going on out there in the streets too. Maybe we can touch on that. Who knows? But nonetheless, it is that time of day where we just let it all hang out, right? Let it all hang out. All right. So outside of that, guys, how was y'all week though? How was your week? For the panel, right? What's going on? How was y'all week this week? Anybody?
Oh, my week was pretty. My week was pretty good. It kind of went by a little fast. I'm gearing up for contracting with the VA and possibly Mississippi or Tennessee. So I'm trying to get the compliance paperwork together, making sure everything checks out, and get ready to rock and roll.
Power moves. That's what I'm talking about, right? As always, I mean, what you expect when it's Sister Monica in the building, right? So it's always dress with it, right? Making them moves. So that's great.
I started getting back into the consulting arena of government contracts with some individuals who actually doing business. So I'm excited about moving in. I'm going to work. I'm trying to. Not trying. I'm actually trying to get my workbook together so that I'd have something to people to start filling in filling in when going through this template type, so that they can stay in compliance. It has something to refer back to when they're doing big business. So kind of scaling it up a little bit from the new starters, unless they've already been doing business, to kind of bringing in that whole intermediate facet of dealing in the big leagues just a little bit, kind of advancing.
Again, just being the liaison, right? I always
Mm-hmm.
champion the idea that you need competent people in competent places, right, to speak to
Mm-hmm.
competent spaces. And what better person than yourself, of course, having the best of both world, boots on the ground and boots on the ground, right?
You know it.
Both set, right? Set from the civilian to that of the military. And of course, when we're dealing with government grants, understanding the nature of that business, right? In itself, and application, and how to maneuver, having all your business things in order, right? Your affairs in order when it comes to the submission aspect of that, and just helping people, be that being that bridge to help people get to those benefits, right?
Yeah.
And I say no better person than you, from out and within our circles that can really help people understand that, because there's a need for it. There's a lot of money out there that people don't know how to acquiesce, right? And they may just have some, it could be a myriad of things that may be holding them back from it, but a lot of it is just competency, for the most part, or just fear, right? I mean, they might already go in with a defeated attitude. Man, they ain't gonna give me this money, and they just never apply, right? And somebody else come along and apply, and they get it, right? So it may not even have a more, substantial even business model for a use case, even with that money. But who knows? But nonetheless, we give thanks to you, because again, you really help educate a lot of people in this space and get them on that right path, right? The path of success. So that's awesome, right? That's what I'm talking about, right?
I've noticed, well, not noticed, but I realized that there are a lot of individuals that's on YouTube or that we've come in contact with that are doing great things. We talk Dr. Johnson, but we got Coach. I don't know if you remember our Coach out of Alabama.
We all
Yeah,
yeah.
He get his he got his disability intellectual group home going now. And when I tell you that business is lucrative, that business is lucrative. Nice. Super impressed. I was talking with a veteran today. He's actually up in your AO area right now. Transport. He's running trips. He has transportation vans. He has vans, and he's working on some more Sprinter vans, because he's transporting people who like to shop, like to shop and like to go to those casinos up and down the East Coast. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, you talking about they got them little transport bus for everything else. Like, why not? Facilitate people from in every facet of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Instead of going to them sisters that's kind of struggling right now. Them strugglers that's struggling on the recession side of things. Nobody showing up at the grown folks club.
Yeah,
busting up in there, right?
Yeah, and shopping, you'd be surprised, because everybody broke. I say, what? A lot of times you hear people having conversations, and they always say, especially when it comes to respiration, I always say, "Oh, when people get that money, they're gonna spend it on this, that, or whatever." And then you got some people out here doing some really great things. I heard a young man in the real estate arena, or another one in truck driving, and they getting fleets, and they hiring each other, and they teaching each other the business. And you got some people doing some great things.
That's what it's about right there. Again, paying it forward, realizing now that all this, the ideal of just thinking that just wanting to be the only king on the hill is just like over, because if the government haven't shown us anything, they showed you that they stick within their own ranks best and much as possible, right? When it came to doling out a lot of the benefits, right? The wealth created by the Federal Reserve with the stimulus, overkill, and how all that money went to what? The big corporations, the lobbyists, right? While Main Street, small, mom and pop businesses were struggling, and literally just looking at everybody telling y'all that, it's going to be okay. We're going to, shit, look, stop, right? Like, we know better now, right? When you know better, you do better, right? And so, yeah, you need people who are open, genuine, and really, about that, community orientated, orientation lifestyle, where they know that, them themselves alone are not just, going to be useful, if they can't share that knowledge with someone else, right? I think I saw some, I forgot where I saw it. It was, I think it might have been on LinkedIn, and a guy was posting something about, he was saying that he owes his success to his, his network, right? His network is his, as I like to say, your network is your net worth, right? But he was saying something to the likeness of that. He owes success to his network, right? His tribe, and because he couldn't do it on his own, essentially, right? So the credit goes to them, not me. And it's odd because most people don't really, bypass that moment to be shined on and just give it to the, to their staff. A lot of us do, of course. We selfless, but how when you make it in the big leagues, and this guy like landed a massive military contract. I think it was around about $30-something billion. Actually, a black guy too. It was a defensive contract where they do some kind of form of guys, was it some form of procurement? It was. I got to go pull up. It was, but awesome story. It was an awesome story. I was like, man, well, you don't find too many black, businessmen security contracts like that. And we talking about, it's his business. It's not like he got, a lot of what, upstream, VCs
investors
around him, right? They might have had, some on board with that, but it's his, title, right? That marquee goes completely to him, and I found that to be like very, very fascinating. I was like, that's great, so. But yeah, we need more of that. We definitely need more of that because it's important. So again, you are a treasure for that perspective because you help a lot of people, right? A lot of people understand that, just within those circles, like she's speaking to the success of Coach Murray and what he does, right? Silent warrior, of course, in that regard, he handles his business, right? And you don't need to know much more than, meaning he don't have to speak to it all up and down his social waves. You know what he's about just by, where his interests are, right? So, because he handles business and it shows, right? Because he's, obviously making things happen. So shout out to Coach Murray today.
Yep. He is one of his ultimate goals. Once he get 2 houses up and running, or he wants to go around and train people on how to do it, how to get it going. And I mean, right. You get one person. Think about if you're single and you live by yourself, or if you just have the means and you have rental property, or you have the lines of credit or the credit to be able to get a home, and you just put 1 or 2 individuals in it, get a step. Man, listen, if you heard, I'm gonna interview him. And then, man, when he shared those numbers, I have a friend. She's doing in care, home health care, and when Coach got his second person in the home, and I saw his revenue flow, and then I asked, I was like, "You got 20 clients, Coach got 2 clients, and he's blowing you out the water. What?
Right?
What?" And
right.
She's like, "Well." I said, what's the difference between home health care, home health care, and then what he's doing with the group home with the intellectual disability? And so I said, are you certified for that? Go check. She's like, I think I am. So she went and checked, and look, Carolina, they so dirty. Oh my God. They so dirty. They talking about, oh, we got a waiting list. Oh my goodness. Only people running around here that need it. Yeah. And so she's like, more than sit on the waiting list. I said, wow, because listen here. When they open that gate, if she could get 20 clients in home health care, man, Coach Uncle, he's been doing it for years. I don't know, about 20 plus years. And he had 19 clients at one time. They're millionaires. and so Coach, he's a counselor and worked at mental health, and then went work for his uncle. So he learned the actual governmental rules and policies and procedures, and then he worked for the private company, which is his uncle's, and learned, and then he started his own. And man, let me tell you something. I said, so when I told her, so she's trying to gear up.
Proper nepotism.
Yes,
right?
Yes, like what you talking. Yes,
you're supposed to do it, right?
Yes, and so she's gonna, someone, a friend of mine out of Houston, he's like, man, I have money, I just don't know what to put it into and how to put. I want to do business, this, that, whatever. And he's already invested. And so when I was telling him about it, so now he's looking into how they can go. But if you ever, if you're a counselor, those individuals who like social services, see, that's not my thing. It's just not my thing. But you like social services, or someone who likes social services, and maybe you're business minded, and you guys get into that avenue right there. Oh my God. You talking about lucrative. Now you do have to have the fortitude, because people who have autism, or dealing in that mental state, you got to know how to handle those people. So you definitely have to be someone who has either worked in that arena, or you maybe have family members, and you know how to channel those, how to redirect, and how to work with them, because it's not for the weak. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah. And it's a space that's, for the most part, when we even look around that arena, right? Of course, there's a need, right? There's always a lack. And really being, when they say them true caretakers out there, or people who really have a passion for, helping their fellow man, right? The government is more than willing to kind of pass the buck, right? Because they're too busy trying to chase other stuff. So, where those set asides are, they are willing, men and women who really, take it serious, right? Who can benefit from them lanes. And it's not such like a, it's not like a ton of people beating down that door, right? It's odd as it is, right? Because everybody talk a good game. Oh, we all about this, or we about that, or we about disability people, we about the troops and all this stuff, man. People out there like, bro, where y'all at then? Where is it at? We don't see the, we can't even, lay us on probably, because there's nothing really around here, right? We keep hearing about this money, but where the facilities at, or whatever. So it's really a mess out there.
And that's where I always, when it comes down to the religious conversation, I always wonder, like, if you guys they pull in numbers, like those particular business ventures would be so easy for them. It would be so lucrative, and you won't need to ask people for tithes and offerings. You know how much money it would be making? You could employ your members.
See, that's the difference between that 501(c) scenario, and that's if they just really was serious about building community. I know that's another conversation, right? But
I know we didn't talk
Friday. I don't think we can talk about anything today.
We hijacked the show.
Right. It's no holds barred day. So what, if you are of the religious sect, you're welcome. Come on, right? Let's have those conversations. Right. I call it good, good discourse, right? It is what it is, but we know there's a hole there, there's a black hole there, right? When it comes to what they take in as opposed to what go out, right? That's the safety net of the 501(c)(3), because it protects the the institution of the clergy. So like it's kind of oxymoronic, right? You speaking a lot of things that's supposed to be empowering to some aspect, but it's just message orientated as opposed to action orientated, right? You leave that up to him or her, right? The individual, right? And if it don't work for them, then you can say, well, see, you must wasn't doing it right,
right.
But you took in already, 10% every month. You get 10%, So
right, you should be booming.
Right. About that business model, at least supposed to be helping us layers on a little bit better, right? That's why I keep saying that, because it shows. It really does show. It's a big vacuum there, and it takes away more from the community, in my opinion, than it's actually giving back.
Yeah,
you look around them communities, and they ain't looking like, hey, man, look, flowers on you. They like, bro, I'm straight.
And if you look at the the cathedral size that the other folks build. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they build the classroom setting, they build the gyms, they build, I mean, their whole
Stadium
compound
size.
of a church. Yeah. And you know, that's how they benefiting from their money from the nonprofit side. And I'm like, why we don't get it? Like,
Yep.
what's your problem? Like,
See, they
you can
respect the value of being able to facilitate because that keeps people
yes,
comfortable and keeps them coming back. You got to give them something. You can't
yes,
just fry mullet dinners and cook greens and hit the drum 30 times throughout a session. Like, no, we need more than that. Like people should be beyond that alone, right? The pageantry of it has to come to somewhat of a cease, my opinion. And we need to get to some serious help. Right?
And I think that's why we can't get no. I think that's why we can't get no reparations, because we got so much that you could do it on right now, but the people who has the power to make that happen with numbers is the churches. Because the rest of us just hoping that we can galvanize enough people to follow us to do it, but they already got the numbers.
Right. That's the crazy part about it, right? Because you would think, like I say, it's all within the value of the like I say, the numbers game, right? You like you said, you got what's necessary, but they're not using it properly, right? They're not using it properly, if one would say, right? So yeah, that to me, I think that's the safety net, right? So yeah, even if you use it from their perspective of it being the members only, all right, or the members value, like something like this, like this little book right here, right? So jokers would be like, man, see, yeah, even even they can come to the to the forefront. See, a Christian call for repentance and repair, right? That don't necessarily mean reparations for Christians and Christians only. It's just that they themselves, right? If they are advocates of the community, right? Because you think about people who are the clergy or Christian, who are people of supposedly they say they of the community or whatever. Well, they have lanes that they can operate within to really affect change, right? Their message, right? Essentially, what the LGBTQIA is, they just a sect just like that of what a religious sect, right? Their powers is in their numbers or their votes, their vocal value, right? Their megaphone value. So as it says, Christians are awakening to the legacy of racism in America like never before. Now, when a person afflicting you or causing you harm or costing you by the way of racism, they don't know if you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Zoroastrian. They don't know if what are you, LG? Well, they probably can see that if you dress a certain way, but they don't know what you are for all your ideology. So, and see, but you know how it go. They'll make it into being okay. They were just specific to me, right? But whatever. But it says, while public conversation regarding the realities of racial division and inequalities have surged in recent years, so has the public outcry to work toward the long-awaited healing of these wounds. I agree with that statement right there wholeheartedly, right? On at least that part of it, right? But American Christianity, with this tendency to view ministry of reconciliation as a sole response to racial injustice and its isolation from those who labor most diligently to address these things and under-equipped to offer solutions, right? It's under-equipped, to offer solutions, right? Now, again, like you said, they got the megaphone, they got the platform, they got the head count, they got the numbers, right? And if they're not utilizing, that's a problem. That's problematic, right? Because it says because of the church needs a new perspective on its responsibility for deep racial brokenness at the heart of the American culture and on what it can do to repair the brokenness. They are losing numbers like never before. Like people are walking away from churches like never before. I ask you all on the panel right now, since it's Freestyle Market Friday, why are people leaving the church? Anybody?
No progress. There's no progress. It's just emotional, motivational speaking. There's not offering them any tools in their individual lives to move forward. So, you can only make somebody happy and cry so many times before they feel like they need to do something different.
Right. It's stuck on that that hamster wheel of what? Just emotional roller coaster, right? Right? Like, okay, like where's the action at next, right? Where's the action part of this, right? This. And
No training, no. I always when I used to go a lot. I used to weigh how on different regions, depending on where you are, was whether or not you could benefit. And I can remember being in Germany, and those particular pastors, they used to have different trainings outside of, your Sunday service. So if you wanted to learn about different industries, they would have some subject matter expert come in and do some training. So I thought that was very interesting. And then when I came back stateside, it was just like I said, motivational speaking session. There was no additional training that they could offer you or bring people in to speak to you about. It was just repetitive, and so it got boring. I mean, it's so many. Don't worry about it, just go pray about it. You could say,
yeah,
people need guidance. When and these times when you have all these different increase in prices and in almost everything. The person, you can't keep telling them, hey, you need to keep tithing when that 10% should be going in the gas just for them to come there.
right.
It's
Some form of
yeah.
in a sense, right? Some kind of form of reparative action,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is this recyclical or is it just a one-way, one-way street here? Like, where is, truth be told, again, at this day and age, people are so much more, in tune with reality of things, right? People always keep saying we are in the information age. We're in the information age. Well, these people are using information properly now. They realizing that a lot of people are bypassing their scenario, and they may even be out there doing stuff way much more, sketchy than what they're trying to do in terms of lifestyle they want to live, and at least on the, the parishioner side of things, right? But for what we know it to be, it's just okay. Yeah, it's just it don't take a whole lot just to be, solid and conscious, right? It's not like you right. Again, I've yet to see somebody come, born to the world with, book strapped to them with instructions.
Say again.
Right? That's just me. Again, I'm just, unless y'all seen some, I haven't. I'm waiting to see one of them type of immaculate births happen. I don't, maybe, right? But yeah, reality is that it's not hard, right? Again, just it's the same, simple as go. Treat others how you want to be treated, right?
Yep.
You don't have to go all, be any more, any less. Just be solid, right? So books like like this, again, they exist for that reason. So with all this, the hot button topic that the reparation conversation is picking up steam right now, and a lot of people who are maybe opposed to it, or those who are for, right, but with conditions, right? There's always going to be an antithetical viewpoint to all things that separate some people from the opportunity than others, right? Which is odd, because if you just don't fit the criteria, you just don't. And that's in itself is not a reach for people to see that. You just can't, like, someone rob you, and the person that gets caught, right, or they catch the person that that accosted you, right? You can't show up at the courthouse as a just a bystander and initially add yourself to the claim, right? and you ain't getting nothing stolen from you. Like that makes sense. Like, people be trying that in 2022. Like, are y'all serious? But that's the extent of how a lot of this stuff is kind of playing out, just from what I see, right? I whatever, I may have my own value to look at that, but I think it's, from a common sense perspective, it's very adamantly laid out. Right? Yeah, you can't just be attaching yourself to everybody else's claim as you have no stake in the claim, right? You have not been accosted, afflicted, or transgressed against, right? And so I like the fact that these guys put this book here together to speak to the ideal of where a lot of people hide out sometimes, unfortunately, in these type of camps, right? Because they feel like they're protected from some other value of some source, right? Right? Y'all know what I mean. So to them, yeah, they don't have to worry about reparations and all this other stuff, and and the brutality aspect that. But like I said, when you get pulled over or something happened to you, people not unless you walk around with a big badge on you, they don't know who you are, what your ideologies are, right? Who you be with, right? Right? You don't know the stuff, right? So again, as it says, right, this book's what makes a compelling historical and theological case for the church's obligation to provide reparation for the oppression of African Americans, right? Duke Quan and Gregory Thompson articulate the church's responsibility for its promotion and preservation of white supremacy throughout history, Right? Investigate the Bible's call to repair our racial brokenness. Now, this is not even a debate when it comes to that, because we do know historically, right? Historically, how it was used in course in terms of Christianity or religious value of it as a way to subdue those who were on the plantation, right? That's not even up for debate. So much so they used to have overseers sitting in those in those places and made sure they only could speak to certain scriptures that obviously were to keep somewhat the Christians in line, right? Obeying their masters and all this, right? Like craziness, right? So yeah, if you've been still kind of talking a lot of those same messages out those books, right? They skip over a lot of stuff today. Some of them do because they don't want that backlash, but it's in there, right? It's in there. Like spaghetti sauce. That prego is in there. All right. So just like I said, this little boy says they led readers toward a moral, right? Imagination that views reparation as a long overdue and necessary step in our collective journey toward healing and wholeness, right? I definitely agree with that little statement there, right? And that's interesting. Again, just off the beaten path, just since we're talking about it. But like you said, the church definitely pulls in a lot of money. Boy, they pull in a lot of money every week. Every week. And then again, you look around and where's that money going? I'm just asking for a friend. Right? I'm asking for a friend. I mean, so what do you think about it over Chris, over Brandon, over Jeremy? Y'all in the building too. I mean, I know y'all like, man, I don't want no boss that one there, but move on, Doc. Move on, Doc.
Nah, I can't even speak on it too much. I got to go to church next week.
Right? You got to go up in
I don't
you
want
don't
my
want
pants to
be hearing you up in here,
right?
right?
No, I mean, you guys are 100% right. I mean,
Totally
a lot of people don't know that this church don't pay taxes. Apparently, they don't pay taxes. This is what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, well, 501(c), that's it. Use it.
Oh yeah.
That's the exemption there.
Yeah, they don't like to.
I don't even think a lot of them know what a 501c3 is. So
they don't have to be one. They don't have a church doesn't have to apply for 501c3.
Right.
So, but they still they're automatically exempt.
Yep.
But
now the smart deal to get grants and things of that nature, they would need to establish one because what a lot of the grantors and a lot of government has done is say, wait a minute, well, faith-based, you're automatically getting money, so you don't qualify. We're not giving you any grants. So in order to get a grant, they have to establish a 501c3 because faith-based, they kind of got away from a lot of the faith-based funding.
I ain't even concerned about that. It's the fact that they give 10% of their money and they can't use none of that money to put their kids in any kind of college, to fund no community project. They can't use that money for nothing. That goes to the pastor or to the church. So you can't take that money and start a 529 plan for your kids. You can't put that money in like a trust fund, for the churches, stock holdings or anything like that. You can't build a real estate project with that money. You can't do nothing with that money after you done gave it to the church. You can't use it for nothing. If you go on hard times, you can't be like, hey, can I have 10% of my money back?
Or even worse, you can't respect or expect a ROI on that money. And no, you're giving it freely under the idea that, there's, it's a donation in essence, right? So yeah, you donated, you can't expect nothing in return, yet you're under the mindset that because it tells you you're getting, you're sowing a seed, so the return back, tenfold or whatever, based upon, you're giving, right? Like some entity sees this, knows this, and they're gonna be that gateway for you to receive benefits. So don't go home and don't do nothing, but just wait on it. Okay, good luck. Right? Good luck.
Just like a prayer. Just like a prayer.
But we put that 10%, like you said, into an ETF, right? A favorable ETF that turns out on a per annum basis about at least a minimum 5 or 6, 7, 8% yield on an annual basis. And you do that, how you pay child what monthly, right? Ain't it monthly or quarterly? It's monthly, isn't it? If I ain't mistaken.
They want it when they can get it.
Right? If it's monthly, that's 10% monthly. That could be like the same way, like it could be like a drip that you put for as an investment. That's 10% that goes strictly to an ETF or a basket of stocks. If nothing else, principal value of that alone, would be phenomenal.
Check it out, AE. One time I was attending this church, and when I came off of active, my last few years I spent in the reserves. And so I would pay my little time. I would pay my tithes, right? And they asked me, why does I wanted to lead the praise dances or whatever. And so they asked me when I went to my little interview, they asked me why was my tithes not consistent? Why did the number fluctuate? I said, because my income fluctuates. And they was like, what do you mean? I said, I'm in the reserve, so our money never the same because we do different things. And so she didn't, she had a little heartburn for that. I said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'm not giving y'all no more money.
Wink, wink.
I ain't give him no more. I asked you, don't even need to worry about it. Then that was the last time I really was like real serious about it. Because I was like, wait a minute. When did we start checking
down? I'm talking about straight shaking you down. Like you can't even get one good foot in God's door. They already with you with the metal detector and the other one going in your purse. Like, look at me. I don't see that wallet in here today, Miss Jenkins. You might go back to the car. Go get that wallet at that glove box.
Because I was I was a little superstitious. I felt like, I was balling then. I was like, shoot, I'm giving my money. I'm getting blessed. I'm cool, I was real superstitious about it. Man, when she said that, I said, oh, yeah, okay. I won't write no more checks. No, you ain't getting none.
They see you coming there looking like new money. So look at so coming up with that new suit on. I know he got some money. Y'all stay close to his little aisle on the up and down the pew today, all right? You're gonna get that out of him today. And it's weird just because look where we are today.
Right.
We're here now. We're here now.
Pastor Sue's poor. What?
We're here now.
He wanted some. What? This July 1st.
It's an old article, but it's not an old article, but it's been ongoing, right? Because y'all remember this story a while back. We did this like a while back. I think even on our Urban Economic Empowerment show, just in passing, and it's still going for it. Let me again. Pastor Sue's poor mother, after what? She hit that lottery because she was taking some money, giving it to her little boyfriend, bailed him out of jail. He went back. She bailed him out. It was just y'all know how it is. But look at this here. Now you see what's going on here. Instantly, you know what the problem is right here.
You already know.
Somebody finna get turned off by this, and they be like, "Oh, I see where you're going with this." But guess what? See that hit dog will holler before you even speak one word. And sometimes reality is just reality. When people are predatory in nature and they are not of the goodwill value, this is the kind of stuff that happens. They know who's weak, mentally, right? And they know exactly how to come after it. So that shows you the extent of that. Show me where there's a contractual obligation that you have to tie if you're gonna be a part of a church. I'm just asking for a friend. Maybe this is new churches. I'm not, it's been a minute for me. Again, granted, I'm old school a little bit. I know I'm a little rusty. I don't know. They got some contracts at the now before you can come in the door.
Hey, they got them little membership classes. You might be signing on to that. I don't know.
Right? They're like a stock options. We got stock options in the church. You got to sign in, get these calls here to sit on the pew, and you got to be obligated, right? You obligated. Like, how can you? Somebody convince me how you make that make sense. So you finna tell me her oral consent puts her in a position where she's on the hook to pay a tithes after she got the money. Now he comes back and said, "Hey, so and she ain't been paying her tithes, so we can put a silver suit on her from the church." Yeah, hit $188 million. We can use a lot of that money to build up the church, the community. Hey, you spending my money to pass the pocket watching. That should be a nickname.
And he wanted 10 mil.
Pass the pocket watcher.
Pass the pocket watcher.
Oh, she was 26. God. Oh, I was rolling out. He wouldn't even be able to find me.
I mean, you already know what's going on when you see the sister, right? People who initiate, y'all know what's going on here, right? She probably, wide-eyed and bushy tail. She probably got a good heart and all that, but she ain't had a lot of good people around her, right?
She gave him $700,000, and he still he crazy as all get out.
She gave him $700,000. See, that what happened when we talking about the other day when somebody don't love you, and you just going out there. Somebody must didn't love you, right? Because you just let the world just take advantage of you, do you all kind of ways, right?
I'd have gave him a Chris high five and called her today.
Man, he wouldn't even got that. Matter of fact, I've probably been out in the church grass, spinning up, tearing up the grass. Somebody bought me a new Hemi, all in the grass, and just spent right on up out of there. Like, I pay for that and nothing else, but you ain't gonna get no money. That's how you get. Pay for the grass. Could make this stuff up. Sister working 2 jobs, McDonald's and Walmart. You already know what it is. She got that bag. Everybody in the entire town. Yeah, Miss Holmes. Before that, she used to be like Marie. Right? Before that, she was Marie. Marie. Yeah, oh, Marie. She late again today. Oh, Marie. Get on that fry line, Marie. Right. Now, you coming in. Oh, Miss Holmes, how you doing there, Miss Holmes? You want to support my little Timmy? Like, no, look at him. Look at him. Couldn't make this stuff up. Suit that sister. And he was trying to get like millions, right? He was trying to get millions out of her. And she, out of her own, I guess, being pressed, gave him $700,000. 700, right? This was working 2 jobs with 4 kids, and doing what you can, like most of the stories that we talk about now, right? Going back to that book, that book. See how, look at the ancestors. See how the ancestors work? Going right back to that book. This book right here, right? Joke they don't get off the hook tonight, but joke like, oh, this freestyle.
That fool said he had to increase his medication due to depression because she wouldn't give him more money.
See, going right back to the book right here. It's a 2-edged sword type of book, him. Because that predatory nature of racism, that was a classic case of racism. Stop playing. That's all it was, right? It utilized that same, approach that these guys talk about, right? Within the value of, as it says right here, y'all see it. I'm not making this up. It says what? This book makes a compelling historical and theological case for the church's obligation to provide reparation for the oppression of what? African American. It says for the oppression of African Americans. That means the church has something to do with their oppression too. By way of what? Responsibility for its promotion and preservation of what? White supremacy throughout history. Investigate the Bible's call to repair our racial brokenness and offer vision for the work of reparation at the local level, right? It's the same thing in a lot of ways. Y'all know what it is. Got that? I mean, come after that sister for, like, he probably wasn't even thinking about her, and clearly, right? Then you probably know who she was until that bag got cut, and that news media camera started rolling, and he found, oh, that's Marie. Well, she been going to church, and she go to church. Yeah, she go to church. Oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty. Praise God. Yes. One of our very own hit the lottery today. Look how God works in mysterious ways. Blessed her with 188 millions. I'm sure she'll be here this Sunday. To pay a little bit of that forward. Pay it forward. Well, hold up, Pastor. What you mean pay it? She already been sewing, right? Well, see about that. See, she ain't gave up to her potential.
Mm-hmm. She's supposed to give more. She said she was giving to. No, she didn't say she was giving 10%. She said she would help.
Tragic. I mean, took that success all through the cleaner. 564 million. She did the cash out option, got like 188 million, right? Tax and everything. Boy, imagine that. Boy, you know she need to be in one of our investing classes.
You know, the bar for
you better do the royalty and annuity side, the annuity payout. You need you need to get some education. Now take the whole 564 as much as possible and let tax really get the annuity payouts.
Whole thing. For real,
right? Because you get that 188 million, it's gonna be gone the next day. You're gonna buy it. It's gonna be a house full of cereal, cheese doodles.
He said cheese doodles.
Cut them on both sides. I better keep it at 100. But again, it's oh man, this is a case study in itself, isn't it?
This is her boyfriend sued her from prison.
He got some of the money. She bailed his Dusty behind out of jail. He went right back to prison. She bailed him out, got him, hooked up, paid off a lot of his bonds and fine stuff. He got in trouble, went right back, and now he all in feeling he in there, eating high price soups or whatever, honey buns, right? In there with every pair of Jordans that Jordan make. He in prison, a high class prisoner, right? At the local prison at there. He ain't even that club fed. Tragic. Tragic. Right? 188 million. Right?
He said she took his stuff and sold it after he went back to jail. She mad.
Bro, you ain't got no use for this. You ain't even got no use for this. Now I'm gonna give it to little Tyrone. He next in line. He been courting me.
Oh man.
Boy, couldn't make this stuff up.
Poor little baby. She good, because I would have been like, honey, I'm out of it. Look, I'm out of here. Y'all can give me and my babies. I'm out. You can be mad all you want to. Catch me in the wind.
North Carolina. Boy, she was laid that day. She went got that bad. Look at her. You see that hair? I was laid. We done got that check. Where my check at? I went right up there where my money at. Where my money
I had my kids set up for the lifetime. Everybody been set up. Man. I have my mama used to work for a lady, and she had gotten hit by a vehicle and a 18-wheeler and got millions. And let me tell you, talk about being smart. She had that she broke that thing down to a science. Basically what you're saying right now. And her kids, when she paid, her kids thought they were just gonna get a whole bunch of all of the money. I mean, she had homes, she had businesses, this, that. Man, she broke that stuff all the way down to her grandkids and her kids of the grandkids. Everybody get a check for the rest of their life.
Man, let them give Sister Monica that kind of money. Or over Chris, or over Brandon, or over Jeremy. Heck, even Ramsey, he in the back check going. Any of y'all, let them get any of y'all that kind of level lot of money. Boy, y'all, look, what? We know what it's gonna be. I'm already gonna put them in my instantly when I see somebody that come across my little news blotter. I'm like, yep, that's about 5-6 generations down the line. That money still gonna be circulating. Easily. This is why, right? You know what I'm saying? We just talked about the other night about what Chadwick Boseman, what happened in his estate, because he wasn't prepared. Even though he turned ill, unfortunately, at a point. But again, being in that situation, to me, I think that's a bigger issue on the unionization of those actors and actresses too, because there should still be people in place to help them, right? Get them onboarded properly, how to protect their finances. Now it's weird because the NBA and the high class supporting agency, they have comptrollers around those players all the time, safeguarding them and protecting them, right? Now they greedy, they running, off of them as well, of course, but at least they tell them, don't be going in the black community and just giving people money. See, now that's how they do it. Right? That's that kind of, double, ugly type of level of racism, if you will, right? Don't go back and give back to your community like that, right? Unless you do it a certain way. You could do cookouts and barbecues and hot dogs, but don't be trying to really, y'all know what I'm talking about. So it's weird when you think about it, right? Because now it's even with, again, Chadwick Boseman, right? Yeah, they just really gutted his little estate, right? They took over almost $1 million. $1 million.
Wow.
And this is here again. You talking about 188 million, and they already know that it's like she a ticking time bomb. Like eventually something gonna happen, right? Or she gonna give it all back in no time soon, right? Which bodes to the idea, and the unfortunate way of boding well. But when they keep making these assertions that if they ever was to give reparative justice to the people who have lineage that goes back before or during the 1866 Freedmen Act or the census, right? That first census, like if they get that money, they're gonna give it all back to corporations, right? Because the idea that Cadillacs and all that kind of stuff gonna be bought, but at the end of the day, if it's a debt owed, it's a debt owed. You don't get to pick and choose how someone spend their money that's owed to them. What's with all these people always out there pocket watching other people? If people ain't even got money, they pocket watching before they even get the money. God, dog, bro. But I ain't even got the check yet. You already like, look, you can't do this, you can't do that, you better not do this. Look, you gonna do this anyway. You just, oh my goodness. Like, boy, I tell you, man, humanity is regressing. Humanity is regressing. right? Nobody around her that really love her, right? Because they would have if they loved that sister, loved on that sister, man. She'd be like I said, her and her 4 kids, man. Look, they like their kids, and their kids would never
kids
have
of the kids.
Kids of the kids of the kids, right?
She said, "I'm paying my taxes and I'm out of here."
You see it?
Don't call me. I'm good.
Let me get that lump sum. Yeah. She got that lump sum, and then the pastor was like, "Yep." Hand was already doing the Birdman hand rub. He was already doing that Birdman hand rub. No, he finna get that bag. Yeah, Sister Marie hit the lottery. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we might need to go pay her a visit.
Right? The girl got got millions, and you gonna go back to jail. That was just dumb.
I mean, but again, as we say, man,
that fool said he wanted 10 mil. That means he wanted to put a couple of that millions in his pocket.
Yep. Get your accrue in 2022. I'm just saying, they roll up on you talking about some, you owe the church, all this money all of a sudden. Look, Houseway, how I owe the church millions of dollars. How? I'm not a contractor. Look at him, man. I'm just saying. It's that bad out here in these streets. Again, it's Freestyle Friday, guys. Anything goes. Let's talk about it, right? It's market Freestyle Friday. This is all financial literacy. See how we can make a financial literacy conversation out of everything? See how that works? Some kind of form of understanding how we need to be better preserved and, be orchestrating, level-headed in a way not to be taking advantage of all the predators and the vultures that are out there, right? Because there are plenty out there. Right. And there's a big need for financial literacy in this country like never before. And you notice how they fight so hard not to provide that. Why is that? The richest nation apparently on the planet has the worst, rate when it comes to educational value, especially when it comes to financial literacy, even that of some of the third world countries that doing better than what we do on the aggregate level, or at least a per capita perspective. That is sad. That is sad, ladies and gentlemen. That is very sad, right? Couldn't make this stuff up.
You see, remember the pastor Solomon Jackson here in Carolina? I think he hit the lottery twice. Here.
Tragic.
So look up Pastor Solomon Jackson Jr. He hit the lottery. I think he hit it. I see one, but I think he hit it twice. Back to back, I think. And but he does a good job. He gives out a lot of scholarship money. He's patronized a lot of the HBCUs. That's him right there. I see him from time to time. He's giving us money. He's giving us.
I see him for he's right there. I see him 200,000 for he's.
Yep. He's giving Morris College money. He's giving South Carolina State. Yeah, he's giving a lot.
And again, from that perspective, that's solid. Look at 250 million. Hit that Powerball. Now hold up. Now you said pastor, right?
Yeah, he's a pastor. Yep.
And I'm asking, you know what I'm going with, right? You know exactly already.
He gambling like a bug.
Let me put my let me get my Tupac little icon in the corner up here now. I gotta be hugging close here, boy. I gotta get let me you gotta hug on this one here real close. Pastor. How you boy, let me not get started. I'm about to call Garfield him over here in a minute. Yep. And you playing the lottery? You playing the lottery with the Lord's money?
He sure did.
Boy, you talking about a testimony there? See, the Lord did this. Right?
Yeah.
Boy, I'm just
But I have to give him his props. He's giving out a lot. He's giving a lot.
He probably had to clear his conscience. He got sleep at night because everybody else, the most starving pastors, the most hating starving pastors, they looking at him like, look at those. No, he would. he better get me something because now I'm gonna preach on him every week and hit him, but he know he ain't got no business. The Bible tells us we don't supposed to be doing nothing close to that. He did, and now they at home, question their own decision, right? They bad decision, like, well, maybe I need to pick
Pastor
up a
Louis
little
should
bit
have
and
gave
put
us them
something in there.
numbers. Look,
Give me some numbers, right?
Pastor Louis should have gave us them numbers.
Right? No, you supposed to share that on that conference call we had at the last, fish fry conference call. That man, man, you showing them a number of mullet dinners for them, right? Everybody eating sea bass and snapper. You showed them with mullet and mullet dinners.
I think I got like 66,000 for him to help with 2 houses in 2017. I did 36,000 on one and 30 on another.
That is nice. Again, I just seen, what's going down. Some of that, what he was able, what he was doing, of course, in itself, if you got to get it how you live, it to say, right? If it's still coming back to the community in some form of fashion, then it's a net positive, right? It's still a net positive from that perspective, like you said.
You got a few good apples out there.
Yeah, and like I said, it could be a myriad of different reasons why, but nonetheless, doesn't matter at that point because when the check is cut, it's cut, right? The same way how it is falls with the reparation compensation. When that check get cut, it's gonna get cut. I know a lot of people are still in their feelings about that. They just hoping it don't happen. Hoping it don't happen. Possible. I don't know why you're thinking like that, but it is what it is. But we steamrolling now. We picking up steam with that, and it's necessary. It's a necessary debt. It's a necessary debt, right? It's not even up for debate, but we can definitely debate about it, right? So if you do have opposing views about reparation, jump on the panel. Let's talk about it, right? Again, it's all in constructive conversation. We don't huff and puff. We ain't finna get all sweaty and be using all this explicit language. We don't have to. We just keep it 100. We speak to the finance side of things, right? The legality aspect of it, right? It's like an investment value, right? Because again, we were used as an investment vehicle, right? We was the stock, literally, right? Literally, we was the stock, right? So yeah, about that ROI, I'm gonna need some of that back, right? I'm gonna need some of that back, right? Because it is really, truly unprecedented value where people are really reaching to act like they don't see it for what it is. It's like 1,000,001 different excuses, and yet, everybody act like it's just normal, right? It's just normal, right? But I don't see it as such, right? And I can speak for myself, of course, but I just don't see it as normal. I just don't. Right? So yes, I mean, just there are some good ones, like you said, Sister Monica. So shout out to Reverend Solomon Jackson Jr. down there in Columbia, South Carolina, right? Paying it forward, right? Got the bag, and he went, he went on this Piper thing, right? The right way though, when he went out there and really paid it forward, right? Or at least his Robin Hood, right? Right? When he started doling out those benefits, right? Because a lot of the people he probably helped anyway, they probably sold the seed into the lottery anyway. Like it came back. Yeah, scratch up my little money, finally paid back. It came back. Thank you, pal. If I don't get it, maybe somebody else can get it and bring it back home. Maybe, I don't know. So shout out to him. Yeah, so a lot of stuff going on out there. It's a lot of stuff going on out there right now, especially in the land of financial literacy within this eco in itself. So, from just kind of watching what's coming up next with the election cycle and all this money, right? That's brewing and building. Man, the January 6th hearings, right? That's been the most funniest thing ever.
Yeah, that's
y'all
crazy.
Been catching into that, boy. That jump.
I have. Boy. I went back and watched it. I'm like, woo.
Boy, wow. Right now. Ooh, right about now.
Better drink that bleach.
To the head.
Hey, it's gonna be a matter of, are we about that life or are we about the life? We ain't about that life. He gonna slide through, but they got what they need.
They got what? And it ain't even whether you for or you against. You could just be a complete bystander.
Yeah.
And just watch it from the peanut gallery and be like, bro, yeah. If there ever was a moment where you say, well, is there a compelling case? And you got, or they say, prove your case, Exhibit A all the way through Exhibit Z.
Yeah,
bruh.
yeah, that's a wrap. It was planned and carried out, and they just, I mean, they really could, they really. Honestly, I think they could have really actually took over because they was already there.
Yeah, I mean it's. I mean, again, y'all know me. I don't, have no political gain. So I go
Nope.
on everybody, right? So everybody
Yep.
can get it in my lane, and I give it.
Whoever gonna give it
So
a benefit.
you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm just asking for a friend. Is it really about to be the new?
Hey, they.
I just, I just saying, bro. This head prisoner in chief scenario here, boy.
Hey, you throw what's his name? Jim Jordan. He be thrown on that too.
Yeah, it's a few of them, man. And that's just the one from the Senate side. He still got to deal with Letitia James that's still on his back too.
Yeah, that sister, that Cheney.
Yeah.
Said she.
And or of course, Cheney too, because that's on the Senate side. But them civil, them other stuff they're dealing with is taxes, right? He can hit by about 3 or 4 different lanes of a lawsuit. He got that issue with New York in itself alone.
That sister in New York.
Yeah, Letitia James. Yeah. So boy, he getting it, boy. I'm just saying, and again, I don't look. I don't take no sides on nobody. I'm just saying, I'm an opportunist. Who gonna cut that check?
You know what's amazing to me though? You got all of those intelligent individuals on your team, and they couldn't keep you. I always say there's enough gray area out there for you to do it legit and still benefit and still be on top.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why.
Greed. You know what it is, Sister Monica. We just talking about that with that pastor. They greed with them jokers. They greedy. It's a disease. Jeffrey Epstein, disease. All these people, we can go in on that too at some point. We'll get to it. But yeah, greedy. And they say it ain't a crime till you get caught. The idea that since you ain't got caught, maybe that forced them to flight, they can, push the boundaries, see just to see how far they can go. I mean, the man, that last testimony, boy, from that lady, boy, she just, ooh, boy.
Yeah.
Boy, she had him all in his little fields. He was in his field hard, boy. He was posting every 2 seconds. They say he was 10 up True Social with it.
He went crazy.
He went crazy that night. They said they never saw Trump that unhinged ever. It was that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the stock was doing what? Out of there. It was plummeting the same way. Woo, but that thing was, boy, to my free falling down. That thing was free falling. Because now they hitting them too. FBI is investigating them too.
Oh yeah, yep.
That DY, True Social, Rumble, them guys, they get investigated too. Double whammy. And he 100% endorsed that website to be competitive value to Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, all the other stuff, like the big social media ones that he had problem with. And then
did you see some of the comments on it though on his site? Because you own it, right?
Yeah, True Social, Rumble, Rumble. I'm on it. I got the little site. Man.
Yeah, one of my buddies posted it. Had it up last night, and the comments Trump was making during that hearing,
man,
he was going crazy.
I say he was like, we talking about in his fields. He was in his fields, right? Fields, right? I was like, golly, let me see if I log in. I don't even forgot my credentials probably. Let me see. I might have did it on my Facebook. Or let me see. Right, but yeah, he was on there, man. He was in there just cutting up, right? I was like, God, but it's gonna be okay, or it may not be. Then maybe you might be in trouble. You might just be in trouble. And from the likes of it about seems like he in trouble, right? But I don't know. Like I said, we can talk about it. I was curious to hear y'all opinion on it. Some of y'all probably, man, we don't follow that crazy. I just, as an investor, again, I was short in DWAC stock, so I had skin in the game, right? On the other side of it, though, I was short the stock, right? So I was like,
you got the picture in the way we can't see the chart.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry about that. I said I didn't want to miss a good opportunity to get in on that bag. So look, y'all know me. Like, where that action at? Okay, it's over here. I'm there. So the latest dump was, of course, on the up here, right? Because it already had been dumping, pulling back since it made that meteoric rise, like a lot of these stocks, of course, especially on the tech side. But just the idea of this stock, he was so tied and interconnected to Trump, of course, everything that he was standing for, whether or not he was going to have that kind of redemptive quality to come back and potentially even run again, right? He was simmering up for the idea of it, but he still had to get through all the other stuff. But lo and behold, who knew, right? The level of the stuff that they were going to really put together. Now, I give them that credit. Again, whether it stick or don't stick, I don't know. But these people, look, they ain't messing up on this. Now, they might have, went a little crazy on that first impeachment scenario. They were coming after from the impeachment. But this one here, that January 6th scenario, how they laid it out, just how they make this thing public, and they doing it very precise too. They just hitting him in a way where he can't do nothing about it. He can't refute it up against under the social media platforms where everybody hanging out there. He can't refute none of it. He can't do nothing. They ran all of them off there, right? Even his ilk, right? They ran all them jokers off, the QAnons, all of them off the, like Facebook and stuff. They got to go to one echo chamber area and rumble and rant amongst themselves. They can't even get off their chest in front of everybody else to defeat it. That's sad, ain't it? I ain't making this up.
He didn't have, he wasn't in power, so he couldn't shut them up, and cause the friction of things to go a certain way. So they had liberty to kind of put it together exactly how they wanted. I was really surprised to see Cheney, Senator Cheney, doing all the questions. I thought that was real interesting.
What that was part of the plan. You got to think about it, because they went after her maliciously, right? For a myriad of different reasons, of course, right? Because she was, she was one of the ones who stood against the whole, the January 6th, maybe she did it for political reason, or maybe she was just had a moral, grew morals that day. But, she really pushed back against them for that, right? And they tried to chastise her for that, right? They were trying to get her out of her seat, everything. They really came after her money, right? Whatever, her livelihood. She's like, okay, yeah, I have no problem headlining this show then. Let's do it. I can see her now, but she probably like, yep, boy, him.
Yeah, she just did that speech yesterday. Did you hear that speech she did?
Not of course, I got to go back and get Porsche. But I know she probably went in there and did.
Yep, she did.
Boy, them jokers, boy, I'm talking about, they steaming. I mean, and it's again nothing they can do. Nothing they can do right now too. That can stop it, so to speak, right? Nothing. All right. So, matter of fact, I got a little excerpt of it, right? I think it was called the rebuke of the dangerous and irrational. Rebuke of dangerous and irrational, right? Let me see here. Can y'all hear that?
No.
Yeah, I can hear. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up here one thing. We go in tonight, right? We're gonna use this good little moment to kind of. All right, let's see. We can get this good popping here. Let's see if we can get this popping here. Give me 1 second.
Nope.
Okay.
Center of our community
there
and our lives. I'm a conservative Republican, and I believe deeply in the policies of limited government, of low taxes, of a strong national defense. I believe that the family is the center of our community and of our lives. And I believe those are the right policies for our nation. But I also know that at this moment, we're confronting a domestic threat that we have never faced before. And that is a former president who is attempting to unravel the foundations of our constitutional republic. And he is aided by Republican leaders and elected officials who made themselves willing hostages to this dangerous and irrational man. As the full picture is coming into view with the January 6th committee, it has become clear that the efforts Donald Trump oversaw and engaged in were even more chilling and more threatening than we could have imagined. As we have shown, Donald Trump attempted to overturn the presidential election. He attempted to stay in office and to prevent the peaceful transfer of presidential power. He summoned a mob to Washington. He knew they were armed on January 6th. He knew they were angry, and he directed the violent mob to march on the Capitol in order to delay or prevent completely the counting of electoral votes. He attempted to go there with them. And when the violence was underway, he refused to take action to tell the rioters to leave. Instead, he incited further violence by tweeting that the Vice President, Mike Pence, was a coward. He said, quote, "Mike deserves it." And he didn't want to do anything in response to the Hang Mike Pence chants. It's undeniable. It's also painful for Republicans to accept. And I think we all have to recognize and understand what it means to say those words and what it means that those things happened. But the reality that we face today as Republicans, as we think about the choice in front of us, we have to choose, because Republicans cannot both be loyal to Donald Trump and loyal to the Constitution. At this moment,
holy cow!
So you see the line that got the
wow.
So they circulate wagons right now because as much as it is a scenario where it really forced a divide within the Republican Party, because y'all know they got two separate statuses of the Republican Party all of a sudden now, right? You got the rhinos, right? Republicans in name only, right? Some of the antiquated ones that they just say, well, these guys kind of they're like the ones who just got like tenure, right? They've been around so long, right? But they ain't really shaking up things, right? Then you got those progressive type Republicans, right? Kind of like on that, somewhat a little bit in the middle, but they still, very hardcore. And then you got them straight radical new Republicans now that was born out of the January 6th aspect, where they just really put their careers on the line, the total line for Trump, right? Those are the ones like what's that little the young one? I forgot his name. They already got rid of one of them. The one guy up from North Carolina, the guy was in the wheelchair. They caught him with all kind of foolishness, pistols and I think pornography. He was a big Trump supporter during that scenario. The one guy, I forgot. Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley was a young one. He was talking all that, talking that mad flagrant stuff during the moment when the riot was happening. He was throwing up like the fists and everything to all the people who were raiding it, so they coming after him slowly. They hitting all everybody, right? Mark Meadows, of course, Giuliani now they tightened the vice grip on Giuliani, boy. They got him squirming. Of course, Peter Navarro definitely, right? You talking about now you're going to even within the cabinetry. They hitting everybody, right? And like I said, like you said, Monica, the fact that he's not in power now is making it hard for him to push back. They can't push back. They stuck now because now they got to fall back into their constitutionality of aspect of rendering themselves to the law too, right? Because you can only buck for so long, right? Steve O'Bannon, like they just dragging him through the mud. Man, this been one weird, wild type of reality, seeing this kind of level of infighting, right? Right? Because y'all know that's basically what this is. There's some real hardcore infighting here. And there's so much going on, of course, in the world, but this just another extension of this whole domino effect, right? Jokers becoming unhinged, boy.
That young lady, Hitchison, she being that where she worked, and she was so close, she was Mark Meadows' aide, and then being in their company all the time, like it was like a
fly on the wall.
Yes, I said, oh, they must have made her mad. They must have made her mad, and she's like, "Oh, forget all this. I'm about to rat on everybody." And so you can't really, when you have somebody that close and work that close every day, it's hard for you to, discredit their information because they were right there. And I don't hear the other young man that she referenced all the time, that she worked with, that was always with him. I don't remember his name. That she when he said man, I'm not going over there because if I go over there, how many charges we gonna get?
When you start counting, we start counting them days in pins. We're like,
Yeah, he was like, I'm not going on Capitol Hill. You could go.
he was like, looking at no parts of it.
You
No
can't
parts
even
of it.
lie. Yeah.
But who knew? But I mean, boy, when I read that transcript. I heard that part when he slung this ketchup against the wall. Boy,
Hey,
like,
ketchup. That was funny.
I would die. They
That
call it
was.
ketchup gate. Ketchup
He
gate.
said, what happened? She said, what happened? She was like, well, the president got mad, threw the plane against the wall or whatever. She have to clean up. I was wondering though, and I don't know. I could be
slung cheap ketchup on them folks, little prestigious little walls.
Prestige wall. I was wondering though, and I could be reaching. I could be reaching, but I was like, I wondered, was she the whistleblower?
It seemed almost, but dang, obvious, right?
Yeah.
Make this stuff up.
You can't make it up. I said, ooh, she a little bold. I said, I wonder if she went past that information on.
I mean, just think about that. I mean, literally, detail for detail to the point where, like, even if you try to refute it from a lawyer perspective, just to kind of get a person caught up in their own circle of conversation to make them refute even what they might have put out or what they might have recalled or recanted. She would just outline it in a way where it just dug into it. She did it's like when a woman dig nails in you.
Yeah, digging it. They said all she did was
nails too.
They said all she did was sit in the corner and take notes. She was quiet. She just sat in the corner, took notes.
Couldn't make this stuff up, right? This is the transcript here, guys. If y'all want the transcript here, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna post it in the back the YouTube side too. But yeah, this is the official transcript.
He said, President Trump, former President Trump said, I didn't know her. And she said, I was a special assistant to the president. I said, how you not horse?
Special assistant. Well, he has a real big bad problem with amnesia. Notice that as soon as somebody finna get ready to go on the bus or get them back tied on the scoop, man, I don't know them people. I ain't seen them. I ain't barely. Trump got some real bad amnesia, boy.
He was on that interview. He said, I didn't know her. I don't know who she is.
Right. Like, well, that sister we talking about, can you see? Barely. Right? She in back of the police car, barely.
Next, you're going to see they're going to post a picture of her and Trump, like, having a good time high-fiving.
You already know.
Go ahead, Brandon. I'm sorry.
No, y'all good. I'm over here cracking up.
Yeah, this was some grade A comedic antidote, right? You couldn't get no better than this. Because other people probably like, they live it, right? Just sitting there listening to this stuff, right? Because they like people who really, are all gaudy about the institution of the White House and all this stuff. Like, I passed by that mess, right? This is my little living. I look at that stuff like, man, it's just another corporate building. That's all it is to me. I don't see it no more than that.
Right. You know what was interesting is, as she talked about when she was talking about him, the rioters coming over, he was like, let my people pass the magnets. Them weapons ain't for me.
Right. That part of the testimony really got them upset. Think about it. Even some of the people who are hardcore, who really had the moment to have a moment of a surreal moment, they're like, God, dog, bro. It was that crazy. You just don't let people go up in there because see that blows hole in all their conversation about what? Second Amendment rights.
Right.
And again, respecting the law because they have a law to, right? I mean, they're protected by the law, to be able to do such. So that blows hole through their whole ideology now. Because okay, well, you can't have it both ways. So you're gonna break the law, and that's to try to uphold the value of a law or brandish it to people where it make them feel like, you shouldn't have a right to have, this law in a sense, right? But you just adamantly broke it. You adamantly came up in here with, pistols and all kind of stuff, and you literally told the people who's supposed to be there to protect everybody else who may have even been about their life, but they were just dead to really support you, to bypass all that. Let them people come up there with them guns, bro. Let them come up in here with them.
Yeah.
Put them metal detectors down, bro. We don't do that. Now, these are our people. Let that marinate.
Yeah. He said move. He was like, what's taking them so long? He was like, what's taking them so long? He was like, they can't get through the mags with them weapons. What? More mags.
Let them come through.
Let them come through. That's a wrap. That's a
done deal.
And he wanted to go on Capitol Hill. They didn't want him to go. I was like, man, if he had gone, I wonder what they would. I mean, it was already terrorizing the building. I wonder, exactly. They were just going to take over, hold everybody hostage, kick everybody out and say, we run America now?
At the new saying to what? Trump grabs the what? Huh? You got a new saying now. Trump grabs the what? grabs the wheel. Right? Jesus grabbed the wheel. Trump
yes, grab the wheel.
Trump grabs the wheel, bro. That joker tried to take. Well, of course, he pushed back against it, right?
Yeah.
Man, anybody did that. He got the Secret Service. They kind of, oh boy,
they made him go the other way. I think, because he kept pushing. I wonder, and I was like, being who he is, I'm surprised he didn't push through that and did go, and went where they was directing him to go. Because according to the testimonies coming forth, some of them was with it, and some of them was like, nah, we ain't about to do this.
Right.
No.
Like enough is enough. But we gave you more than an inch. You done took a whole, not even a mile. You done took a hectare mile or something. One of them African type mile. Like, bro, what else you want us to do, man? You just like, bro, this is not that kind of party. We give you some leeway to act a little, but you just being a little too much, boy.
He tried to grab the steering wheel.
Yeah, I told him that new saying now. Jesus grabbed the wheel, Trump grabbed the wheel, boy. Trump. Grab it, Trump. Grab it, Trump. That joke went for the steering wheel. Grab it. They were getting at it before because he had that statement a while back about you grabbing women, indiscriminately
by the
privates, right? You're grabbing they call
by the crotch,
the box of the crotch, or whatever they be called. I was like, boy, Trump got a problem with grabbing things, don't he?
Yeah,
boy. That joker tried to take the wheel for the Secret Service agent. God, dog, but that joker there, boy, he digging himself. But it's weird too, because it's almost but evident now. Ain't no. Well, I take that back. We ain't seen some nutty things in this country. It's some nutty people in this country, and it's some outright hypocrites, right, in this country. Even with the level of information that's coming out, it's still gonna be some jokers out there gonna be like, he should still run for president. Like, bro, ain't nowhere in the. That's what you call like napalm. Napalm just hit his whole opportunity now. Ain't no way.
You can you imagine if he ran for president? Could you imagine
the firestorm of the media will be on his back every day. Reminding him. People will be on his back. Okay?
No, not even that. I'm thinking in reference to the insurgent at the White House. Imagine if he ran for president. It's a whole different ball game. I don't think it'd be business as usual or just doing presidential duty. He trying to take over the whole country. Like this, he gonna filter it down through the governors. The government, it's straight tyranny. Like it's dictatorship. It ain't no
treasonous.
Oh man, we in trouble. Hope you're not a girl.
So-called constitution, right?
They say, hope you're not a grow food.
Right.
Life as you know it is done. Yeah.
I noticed that the head of Mr. Trump's security detail sitting in the chair looking somewhat discombobulated, a little lost. Hutchinson testified. I looked at Tony. He said, "Did you effing hear what what happened here? Happened here in the Beast, right? Because y'all know the Beast is the truck or the the limit or the the motorcade car he drives." He said, "Did you effing hear what happened in the Beast?" I said, "No." Tony, I just got back. What happened? Tony proceeded to tell me that when the president got in the Beast, he was under the impression that Mr. Meadows, that the record movement of the Capitol was still possible and likely to happen, but that Bobby had more information. Hutchinson continued, as the president had gotten into the vehicle with Bobby, he thought that they were going up to the Capitol. And when Bobby had relayed to him that they were not, we don't have the assets to do it, right? Meaning in this case, Secret Service, right, for protection. We don't have enough assets to protect you. It's like it's not secure. We're going back to the West Wing. The president had a very strong and very angry response to that. Hutchinson then testified that Trump said something to the effect that I'm the effing president. Take me to the Capitol now.
Take me to the king.
My money, I want it right now. J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash. But Trump pulled one of them. Look, to which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel, Hutchinson said, adding that when Ornato recounted the story to me, he had motion toward his clavicles, right? So he was obviously coming at his neck, basically, bro. Inga, who was in the court, who was in the room with Onado and Hudson, did not correct or disagree with Onado's recounting, because sometimes you just like it is what it is. You can't even refute it, right? Because you're like, man, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just gonna down this hill today, or you're gonna have to let it go, right? It won't work down on that hill that day, even refute it.
Oh, man.
And up and down social media though on Rumble, there's a lie, that's fake news, boy. They were fake news and up over there, boy. Them juggle in their fields, boy. Them juggle, but it was in their fields.
Fake news, huh?
And they couldn't do nothing to refute it. God,
Yep.
no, that's when it stings too. It's like you wide awake. They were astral projecting. Where you at, favorite? They were astral projecting. They were outside their body, couldn't do that. They were just screaming and yelling and cursing. They couldn't do nothing.
Yeah, they were cutting up. I was looking at that stream. I was like, wow, y'all are really
Magic.
Y'all are really bagging. Well, I mean, we can always tell when something got him on edge because he goes wild. You know, when it's not really something that's threatening, he don't really make that much noise. He might say something and keep moving, but when it's something threatening, he goes wild.
But it showed the extent of what we knew anyway. I mean, come on, it was obvious that he was, he's not the typical, he atypical politician. He, businessman used to having his way, come from a spoiled lineage and background. The mentality of that, money can, smooth over everything, and that kind of New York energy that came along with it. Of course, in this case, he, misrepresented it in the worst way. All right, so I'm not even put that on my New York fam up there. It's just you dealing with a person who just, again, for what it worth, narcissist, right? Just on the most cleanest way to say it, right? He's just a narcissist, and man, boy, ain't nothing he could do right now. He just listened to all that stuff and he was just furious. Furious to typing, boy.
He
only to his own people though. His echo chamber.
Yeah,
that's the
he typed so many. He typed so many comments. I was like, what are you doing? Look.
I was like, bro, you were like, bro, when he got there, we were listening to that testimony, Trump. What?
He had so many comments. It was so funny.
All that. I'm talking about, boy, you talking about, and it's weird because look, intermission, small intermission break. Boy, I'm talking about, I put together a little tight little clip. I ain't put no words behind this, but just real quick, let's roll some of that beautiful bean footage real quick. Y'all already know, but everybody can get it. Boy, everybody can get it. Everybody can get it, boy. They done made a Grand Theft Auto Trump edition. I ain't making this stuff up. They got a jerk in the beast and grab the wheel.
Oh my god.
Boy, you know they finna let him. Boy, you know, boy, just gonna take long. Boy, memes hit the blotter like instantly, boy. When there's something crazy happen, boy, ain't nobody spared, right? And it's just, you know, from Roe versus Wade, always, you know, the Trump hearing stuff. Man, we talking about Jokers got content for days. Right? I mean, it's weird because we are the new media. You know, the individual aspect of people being able to speak an unfiltered, message, right? Void of the mainstream scenario where they're obviously filtering everything purposely. It's a way where we get to communicate, you know, from our value or vantage point, right? And obviously for us, boots on the ground is that we're kind of like boots on the ground with a lot of this stuff, right? It's like the voices that are never being, heard properly to put real, true context to that of what those who are trying to obscure the message, right? They can obscure it now at a point where, it can mislead people. And same thing we talked about with Trump, he's stuck, right? Because he can't even refute none of this stuff, right? Not in no mainstream media portals. He has no place where he can denounce it or push it down. And because that everybody who follow him have to swallow that. They got to eat that. Boy, they got to eat that, right?
He launched at that dude. He choked him out.
He went for his neck, clavicle. After he reached for the wheel, they pushed him back. Told him, "Sir, we got to go back to West Wind." Trump, man, look, let me go for that neck. All right, I'm gonna go for that. I'm the president. You know, you can see him now. I'm all raged and probably sweating and smelling like old pinto beans and Big Macs. I'm the president, man. Sit down, man. I'll hang a hard right and open the door and let the seatbelt loose. Get right. Slam y'all across Bethesda somewhere. Like, you better sit down somewhere. Like, it's crazy. Like, he was just running wild all through Washington, like some loose, over, some rich spoiled teenage kid just running wild in Washington. I mean, just couldn't make this stuff up. Right? Like, bro, this is gonna be comedic antidote for years to come.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Saturday Night Live. I should have watched Saturday Night Live after that.
Right after the past week, well, basically, last couple weeks.
Oh no, it's tomorrow.
Past week.
No,
it would be this week because
tomorrow.
This stuff is still brewing, right? This tomorrow. You right? It is Friday.
Yeah, it would be tomorrow.
They may have some skits lined up. Knowing them, they probably gonna be on point. Yeah, they gonna probably have some stuff.
Oh yeah, they're gonna replay this.
God, dog, boy, he ain't gonna get no sleep this weekend.
I know.
He ain't gonna get no sleep. Right? Melania probably distancing herself from her. She probably like, oh boy, I don't know. And they even had dirt on her, right? I don't know, you know what? Like one of the people who aged to her, they went to saying, "Yep, she was acting just as belligerent." But that's what happened. You have high class trash sitting in places of what prominent power. That's all it is. Trash. People act like as the saying goes, you can take the what. The person out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of them. Hood, bro. Keep it 100. He hood.
Oh, he's straight hood. He hit the hood mark. Hood. I ain't gonna. He definitely hit the hood mark. They true colors come out in the front, and he couldn't contain himself though. And then they want to let the people talk about, hang Mike Pence.
That's the one that really messed him up because see, this was your ally. He went as far as he can go with the whole lie. I give him credit. Pence went far as he can go within his so-called in his mind to the point where he didn't really completely, to the point where he was at the brink of messing up his own base. He went as far as he can go with that foolishness. And then just got to that point, when it got to the hearing that day, there's like nothing. Hey, I can't do nothing at this point, bro. You had your little, your moment of staycation. Nobody called the phone, boy. They say that no vote, got overturned. You stuck now. I got to go do my civic duty. And he went to do his civic duty because obviously they were like, well, why would you even go to that hearing, right? He tried to browbeat dude on that. Like, I'm supposed to be here. I'm the vice president. Like, why you want me not to be here when this person's supposed to get, it was just messy, right? And even people like slick back, wet back, slimy, greasy, you don't know who I'm about to call out, right? Of South Carolina, you already know who I'm going.
Oh my God, Lindsey.
That's the worst. Like between him and Cruz, the worst
My
ever.
God. Lindsay.
Lindsay,
You know what?
even Dusty Lindsay had a moment of truth, but it only lasted during that moment, and then he kind of went back to being Dusty. You know, when he figured like, oh, he's gonna be in trouble because Trump from the company. He's such a snake though, but you expect that from them kind of people.
The only thing he get credence on, get a high five on, because when it comes to veteran business support, he be on it, and that veteran get taken care of. You call his office, tell him you got an issue, your issue will be gone before the end of the week.
Yes, so window dressing, but it's a good call. It's a good call.
Yep. Yeah. But anything else, shit, you better not go to Lindsay, especially if you one of us.
Come out some reparation. You don't get out of here, they're gonna stick the bulldogs on you. You got the pit bulls outside. They come into my reparation, you stick them pit bulls on them.
Right. I worked at Voc Rehab with his sister, and so he would come through from time to time. Honey, he would speak to everybody because I used to work in a predominantly one of them sections, and he used to speak to everybody when he came through. And then when he would get by me, it would just be like a quick wave and keep it moving. Like he try to keep his eyes, head and eyes forward.
Eye contact,
no eye contact.
Boy.
Yep. He used to come through. They gave her director position just because he was her uncle. I mean, her brother.
Nepotism.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's big time. It's big time.
Classic case
in the states, in the state agencies. Grandma, uncle, sister, brother, cousin, niece. They be having jobs already lined up. They ain't even worried about applying for no job.
Just show up and already no qualification. Hunter Biden,
zero.
Hunter Biden all over again.
Yep.
The most unqualified person on the planet that had the most, spider web or connection that one could even imagine. And he eated his own self because he was such a sloppy, unimportant person to put all of his important, somewhat classified information on a dusty laptop. And then was so drunk and high and smoked up on crack. He took the laptop with all that stuff, didn't probably even have a password encrypted, and took it to get work done with all that paper trail back to his daddy and everybody else from Ukraine all the way even to Asian diplomat. And the people at the pawn shop or at the repair shop were like, is this a joke? This got to be a joke. This must be a setup. They must be trying to just set me up because ain't no way he came in here with this kind of level of information like this. And not had it, lockdown protected or not even own such a hard drive like this. You couldn't make this stuff up.
He should have just got a new laptop.
This is the level of stupidity and insanity that these people are dealing with right now in this day and age. Think about this. And this is at the highest levels, the highest seats in this so-called, facade of a rulership. And it's those kind of sloppy people making decisions over your livelihood.
That's crazy.
Through the extremity of their influences, because again, your children influence you, right? Unless you wrote them out, all these people are still the same thing on both sides. Trump, it's messy. It's messy, guys. It's Freestyle Friday. We can talk about it. Look, I'm just saying, I live in this like y'all. Ain't nowhere in the world y'all don't see all this food. And see, the sad part about it is that they try to get you to accept that this is some kind of form of normalcy. It ain't that bad. Are you kidding me? Right? It's beyond bad. This is sloppy since sloppy, spin since sloppy. Right? This is some extra sloppiness.
Extra sloppiness.
And they want people to be. This is why they have to sanitize and scrub the media so bad, because the people, by way of their actions alone, just so messy that look, they gotta try to put some kind of shield around these idiots. You couldn't make this stuff up. They are that ratchet to the point where they gotta. Oh man, they turned the media into just a straight propaganda thing. Ain't no fair journalism. Throw that out the window. Basically, what we're doing what they call real, true journalism. The people have become the true journalists, and the mainstream media has become the propagandists. True story.
Ain't that crazy?
True story. Couldn't make this stuff up. Right? From look, it's over. It's over. Like they ain't, but it ain't coming back, boy. It's over, boy. I'm talking about caught to the side now. It's over, bro. You can't run now, bro. Boy, there ain't no coming back with him. They jacked him up, boy. They got him. They got that joke, boy. Boy, I'm talking about he probably was like this him right now on True Social. He was just like him on True Social. But I mean, I can just see that right now in real life too. True story. It's a wrap. I've been saving these memes here for a long time too. These some of that old content. Look at the ancestors. Won't they do it? Won't they do it when they bring it back around? Boy, won't they do it? And this, even with Putin, but that circle with him and Putin, all that stuff all come back around now. Putin land sea to Ukraine, and boy, it's bad out here, boy. It's hard out here, boy. Boy, hard out here, boy. Trump, like, boy, look at him, boy. Y'all better watch out, boy. Watch out. It's hard out here. Look, again, comedic antidote value, man. We got content for days. If I was that type of content creator, I just lay in bass and go into stuff all day, every day. It'll just be like crazy. I'll probably get like 1 million views possibly. But we keep it in the context of what we talked about too. We always tie from that side to it because, again, at the expense of all this is taxpayers' money being utilized to showcase this circus on both sides, Trump side and them protecting Biden. Taxpayer money.
Yep, all day.
Protecting these clowns, both of them clowns.
Got all day.
I mean, couldn't make this stuff up.
Was I just seen something on the deal to appoint that judge, anti-abortion judge in Kentucky, with the deal with Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, they just something came out today because they pushing back, right? So today the if you want to call them that Democrats, whatever, they were able to use some kind of wedge law where the aspects or certain aspects of the court has to render at least protection for anybody, meaning they can't be, I guess, they can't be intruded on if they are trying to go out of state to end the procedure. So they can't do nothing to, obstruct them from being able to do that. So that's about the most they can get out of it now, for whatever it's worth. Like bro, like unless they walk around with a sign in their back, they finna go get a procedure. They ain't nobody gonna really know anyway, right? Unless they get wind of it because through some medical scenario they went to somebody first, then they leaked it, somebody blew the whistle, like, the person trying to go get, a procedure done. They got to go out of state. But outside that, you wouldn't know anyway, right? But it's such a, anything, right? Look good on paper, right? Or look good for the, for the losing team if it could score a victory, right? It ain't nothing because it ain't overturned the reality of what's happening, right? So, all this little small stuff now, because they got the one guy, he getting ready to retire. It got so bad with him, with all this meeting brainstorm behind this new Roe versus Wade overturn. This one just, he retired, right? He put in his resignation actually yesterday, effectively yesterday. It wasn't even like, he going out giving us some time. He did an effective, resignation immediately.
A federal judge?
Supreme.
Oh, what?
Yeah, you ain't seen it in the news?
Oh, Lord,
already. A Supreme judge, effective immediately. I'm talking about immediately. You know what that means? When joke about it's effective immediately, right?
Yeah.
Brother, like, look here. I'm we done what we need to do. I can't do this dog and pony show no more. Look, this is finna get ugly. They finna start coming for for justice now. They was the only protected class literally left in this country, right here. Stephen Breyer retire when? Thursday.
Wow.
Right? They swore in Katanja and he retired immediately.
He said, I'm out of here.
Bro, like grand opening, grand closing.
He probably had some dirt on him. That's why he left.
Robin, ain't no telling. Ain't no telling over. I'm talking about effective immediately. One of those scenarios, like, bro, I got to, I got to go. So they make it like he feeling that slot or whatever. However, it's something to that, right? It's something, right? It's something, right? It's something. But anyway, who knows how, but they made it, when they were speaking about it, they was like, yeah, this is kind of like just abrupt and how it's, set up like this and like, okay, this is this is odd in a way, right? Because typically, I don't know how to go, because don't quote me on this, but you kind of, what is it? How many is it? 12 of them, right? If I ain't mistaken, right? And so she was supposed to be filling the slot of what was the one? Is it Ruth? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, the lady,
no,
the
Ruth
lady
get peeled by the other one, the other lady. The
she
one
got peeled by.
Say again, son. So Ruth got peeled by the other lady then.
The lady from Louisiana.
Right. Okay. The evangelical, I guess that's what they call it, I guess. All right. So Katanja was supposed to fill in for who then? So was it that he was already supposed to be retiring?
No.
That was enough, right? It was supposed to be enough, right? There was
she was filling the last slot. Hold on, let's look it up.
I could be wrong. That's what I'm saying, because see, this was like when the story caught traction, they were like, it was perplexing. Like, it was like he just instantly from this up and retire all of a sudden, right after the Roe versus Wade stuff, and then on here it just says what he's being replaced by Ketanji Brown Jackson. And I'm like, no, she was already.
Oh, so maybe he was.
Or it could have been. Who knows, right? It might have been somewhat like, hush hush or whatever. I don't know. But it says here, he Brian's letter to Biden was expected as the justice said in January that he would leave at the end of its term.
Okay, which is June. Which was June.
So he was replaced by her, right? So that's what it was. But I guess they made it seem controversial because it happened right after what Roe versus Wade overturned. It being overturned, and he might have had certain things about it that he, either he was for or against it that were vocal, and it made it more than what it possibly was possible, right? Because there's a few articles out there about him, why he took a certain kind of stance about something. I just saw it in passing, of course. But this is interesting. Very, very interesting in a lot of ways, because she just I don't even want to go in on her. All right, not in front of company right now. Golly, boy, anybody can get it, but I get it. But
know it here, out of sight, out of mind.
Oof.
Soaking in all the benefits.
This one here can't even define what a woman is, and she finna be sitting at the highest court in this nation. She can't even define, meaning she don't want to define what a woman is for the sake of a little dusty job. She done threw every woman ever in the history of mankind under the bus for a job.
Title.
Let that marinate for a moment. All the women have labored and went through. Just, she can get a job, a paycheck, a bigger paycheck, possibly. I don't know. This is the level.
I don't know.
Right? This is the level of insanity that's out there. Boy, we got some insanity going on in this nation like never before.
Yeah.
What is a woman? How do you define what a woman is? Boy, oof, don't make me pull that one up. And of all people, a black woman had to bite her tongue not to speak truth to power to what?
Remember, she didn't get the job. She didn't get the job last time, so I suspect she decided if she not gonna give no commentary on it. She got bumped. I guess she checked, like you said, to get the job.
All that for a paycheck. It's sad out here.
A justice's job. Let me tell you, I think I can remember the commentary by heart. A justice's job is to review the content of the case and make an opinion. It was said so much, I memorized it. I was like, she said that one more time.
Right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're just straight, just messy, right?
The justice's job is to review the content of the state and to make a good provide an opinion based on the evidence that's brought forward.
I mean, it's just, like people are just out here just, whatever, right? At this point, right? And like I say, it's Freestyle Friday. We hitting everybody a little bit,
Divine Nine.
Right? Oof. Oof. The Kamala tribe types, right? But
I think
everybody get hit. But ain't nobody spared, ain't it? What
ain't she a Delta though, ain't it?
Yeah.
Ain't Katanja a Delta?
She's a Divine Nine. She one of the most
Divine Nine.
I going on all of them, even though I got it in my house too. But you know how it is. I don't bite my tongue, man. She part of the Dusty Nine.
Dusty Nine.
The Dusty Nine. That's all they high side and fraudulent and frauding the same way like everybody else, right? It's just more controlled. It's just controlled fraud. All right, because technically, the same way we could put the clergy out there, look, all right. As the saying goes, the clock is right, twice a day, right? And I mean, it's the same. Like everybody has their, their breaking points or their moments, of course, even their closet scenarios. But ultimately, I think at some point, a point of progression. See, like one thing about life and the redemptive character of it, you can work your way out of that. See, that's the true comeback, right? You can err in your ways until you really begin to see the error, right? And then you work your way out of that. Hence, you made that turn, that proverbial turn. But when you stuck in it and you stay in it and you get stuck in it and stay in it, and it's, ratchetry and, and all kind of, silliness, then you don't get a pass. You do not get a pass. So all that divine Dusty Nine stuff, they took 2 L's. Katanya Brown and they got to hold the biggest L's, that Kamala endorsement. They can't never play that Kamala Harris endorsement down ever.
None.
Boy, she talking about she used them since used them. All right. And that in itself is like, all right, like, like how can you come back from that? Right? How could you make a case, for the validity of you going that hard for her? Pearls and chucks and all that goofiness. Like you need to burn them pearls. And you need to take a razor blade to them chucks. Get them pearls back to an oyster somewhere and take a razor blade to them chucks. Couldn't make this stuff up. And again, it just goes to the extent of how I can say we are in some times now where it's just so interesting to be a bystander. Right? Because you got it's unlimited content. It's unlimited content out there right now. People providing it for you free of charge, right? Uninhibited, and it's just like, okay, this is crazy, right? This is super crazy, right? And it's not like you just throwing dirt on everybody. It's like, no, you're not, sitting high and looking low. It's just like, this is the weirdness of all this. People got all this excess energy to be caught up in all this silliness. And there's so many real things going on, right? Especially from where we sit. Sometimes we look at a lot of stuff going on. Like, man, how are these people repurposing all these resources and funds to goofiness when there's real suffering and real things need to get taken care of, right? That's how I look at it. Like who got time to be out there going through all that goofiness right now? Not everybody have to kind of be in accord and alignment with how you see things or whatever, but we know there's a massive thing that everybody's affected by, right? I look at the all-inclusive aspect of it. And those are things that affect everybody, whether they got money or they don't. Policy is jacked up, right? Bad, policies got, everything jacked up right now. Some of it was, ambiguous because of the pandemic, but the rest of followed was the direct result of bad policy, people in place that they need to be making decisions over people's lives that they shouldn't have been having that level of power for. And the end result is this record inflation, stagflation is here, recession is basically on the way. I was calling recession long time ago, but you know how people go, you got to keep putting it out there because jokers don't understand the extent of how serious it is. And like it ain't hard to track this stuff. Like we are in a recession. Yeah, I know the true readout only comes out July 28th. Granted, I get it, but I was like, dude, we're in a recession. Ain't nowhere in the world. They can't push that information under the closet or under the rug enough to make me not even look. They playing around. It's finna get real out here, right? Because again, all the other stuff, dog and pointy stuff to keep people confused and entertained, if you will. All that stuff is just a distraction. It is a true distraction.
Mm-hmm.
If ever was the saying that this is just how they be saying this what they be saying when it's like a hoax or something. I forgot what you call it. Yeah, hoax. I guess you want to call hoax. It's real, but it's in a hoax form, right? It's actually happening, but in hoax form, right? It's the double hiding scenario, but it's crazy out here. It is crazy out here, and it's not getting any. It's not going to get any. It's just nobody out there just willing to step up and be the adults in the room. That's from the way I see it. At least in prominent places where there needs to be, some level of consciousness, consciousness moving through, right, the system. I just asked the question: where is that? Where is it? Right? Where is it? Right? Somebody, help me see that, right? Because I must be missing it, right?
Yes, indeed.
So again, real quick before we get beyond much longer, we can get out of here. It's right at 9. We got to pull this one up. We got to hit this one here. We have to hit this one here on the way out the door, right? And I'm just gonna show the pictures of it first. Then I'll let y'all do the reaction, in terms of how you react to when I post the picture or the idea of the picture. Okay? Somebody help me with this right here.
Who that?
This is the new viral one. I got it by accident the other day. I was at handling some business at address, and they were going in. I was like, I didn't know nothing about this, and they
Why is this even viral?
Because
bro,
no, I know why. I know what happened. No,
you do? Okay, you do. Okay,
but why is this like this happens? I don't want to say this happens on a daily basis, but the fact that she caught this on camera,
right? I guess that's how what made it. Yeah, y'all briefed me because I got wind of it when I was at the hairdresser, and they were going. It was one of the young girls in there because young people push it at a different level, right? They go in on it, right? Mm. And they were just going in out like, God, dog, bro, this is what it like out here, man. I'm like, man, I'm so old school. I guess I'm off the beat. I don't be knowing about none of this stuff, right? Unless I see it in passing or someone speak to it. But when she was going in on it, I said, man, I might have to go see what this is about. And Bob was like, God, dog, bro. If ever was a time we didn't need to be looked at like some, true, clueless folk, like, bro, we got to get rid of this airhead energy out here. Like, there need to be an airhead energy revival where we can clean up and exercise all this airheadedness. Like, you can't be like, y'all speak to it, man. Let me be quiet. Any of y'all speak to it that may want to, I guess. Somebody help me out. Fill me in, brief me on this here.
So apparently in the video, the gentleman that you see that has a bag of McDonald's of food in his hand gives, I guess, his baby's mother the food for his child. So she got upset that he brought food for his child, not knowing that, well, I think he does know that she has 3 other kids by, I'm guessing, 3 other dudes or one other dude or whatever. But he brought food for his child with.
Yeah, it came out that it was a fake. It was just a skit. It wasn't even real.
So it was fake?
Yeah. So, yeah, like Brandon said.
It's been substantiated? Or you think? Or
everybody.
We glossing over. I'm quick to move on because you know me, I ain't up.
Yeah. It's substantiated. You can go to her TikTok everybody pulled up a TikTok, and that's what she do. She do stand up comedy on TikTok, basically.
Nice.
And doing skits. But the whole thing was that the brother bought his son some food, and she got mad because he didn't bring food for other kids, and it went
You even
viral
got
for that.
like the lead attorney went in on it, because I don't know if y'all follow me every now and then. I follow me every now and then. You probably have some interesting conversations.
Yeah, you can't really be taking some of them videos like that serious, because anybody do stuff for views.
I haven't even seen it. That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen the video.
Oh well, yeah.
I got caught in the conversation at the hairdresser, like I said, and they were just going in, right? And she was playing some of the sound bites of it because I couldn't see the video, and we were, how the women there, they were just going in. It was like a couple of elderly women in there too, because how the elderly women is, like, boy, look at they just setting us back, right? They were just going in. I was like, man, they got elders in here and they listen to this ratchetry. I would call it the ratchetry in there. They're like, well, that's a new one. Yeah, that's some class A ratchetry.
This is nothing but a distraction at the end of the day.
Yeah, I went to her TikTok, and that's what she do. She do TikTok stuff, just doing all kind of crazy stuff.
Boy, she done made a nice little bag. Boy, everybody eating off this. I told everybody. You got Willie D doing a video on it.
But it was a report that came out today too, is that the owners of TikTok, they can actually look up your information.
I saw parts of that. That's the whole idea why Trump was kind of pushing back against that whole deal with them and Oracle, and even with the Walmart. Everybody was trying to be a part of that deal structure. The value of the intelligence aspect of it, of our information sitting on their servers, even though ByteDance, of course, being the somewhat the premier behind the value of the TikTok scenario, there or TikTok being the American value, but the ByteDance being the parent company, which ByteDance is obviously headquartered in Asia, right? But they saying, well, no, the information will be kept in the American servers, and not in Asia under the value of the ByteDance. ByteDance still, it was just a whole lot of companies. Y'all know pretty much the backstory to it as well. But yeah, going on that, if you could, over Chris, if you got any extra, I read it in passing. I was like, yeah, this is just more of that what they were saying, because people like, yeah, see, I told y'all, all the Trump people like, yeah, see, I told y'all Trump was right. That's why he, he was asking for a whole lot, in order for this deal to go through. But do you have anything extra on that, over Chris, or just you just kind of listening?
Well, I'm going to get the article right now.
Okay. Yeah, so like I saw it too, and I was like, I read like a few little, quick little bullets of it, then I kind of moved on. But I was like, yeah, I kind of,
Okay, I got it right here.
Little message. You want to share your screen, or you on your phone, or you on your?
I'm on my phone.
Okay. If you want to share it, if you want to share it, I share it.
Okay. You want me to send it to you?
Yeah, but you can read it. Go in on it. I could pull it up though. I'll just pull it up.
It's on Bloomberg. It just says TikTok says some China-based employees can access information from American users. It says TikTok, the viral video sharing app owned by China's ByteDance Ltd, says certain employees outside the U.S. can access information from American users, stoking further criticism from lawmakers who have raised alarms about the social network's data sharing practices. The company's admission came in a letter to 9 U.S. senators who accused TikTok and its parent of monitoring U.S. citizens and demanding answers on what's becoming a familiar line of questioning for the company. Do China-based employees have access to U.S. users' data? What role do those employees play in shaping TikTok's algorithm? Is any of that information shared with the Chinese government? Currently, China-based employees who clear a number of internal security protocols can access certain information on TikTok's U.S. users, including public videos and comments. TikTok Chief Executive Officer Shu Chu said in the June 30th letter obtained by Bloomberg News. None of that information is shared with the Chinese government, and it is subject to robust security controls, he said. The social network said it's working with the U.S. government on strengthening data security around that information, particularly anything defined as protected by the Committee on Foreign Investments in the U.S. or CFIUS. This new effort, called Project Texas, includes physically storing U.S. information and data centers on U.S. servers owned by software giant Oracle Corp. TikTok is also shifting its platform to Oracle's cloud infrastructure, which means the app and the algorithm will be assessed. Oh my God. Will be assessed and deployed for U.S. users from domestic data centers. TikTok's response confirms our fears about the CCP's influence in a company where well-founded Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee told Bloomberg on Friday. The Chinese-run company should have come clean from the start, but it attempted to shroud its work in secrecy. Americans need to know if they are on TikTok. Communist China has their information. Several senators, all Republicans, in a June 27 letter cited a report in BuzzFeed News that said TikTok's U.S. consumer data was accessed by company engineers in China. The lawmaker said in the letter that TikTok and its parents are using their access to a treasure trove of U.S. consumer data to surveil Americans. The New York Times reported earlier on TikTok's response.
See, this whole idea of these Chinese companies still, under this whole, this pushback that's happening, of course, with, them talking about blacklisting these Chinese companies. This is exactly why it's going to keep that water very muddy. It's going to stay muddy for quite a while, right? They just popping shots at each other right now. Anywhere they can score a victory to make one side look bad than the other, it's that bad now, right? They went from the, sleight of hand insults. Now these insults become a little bit more brandished to the public. When they get beyond that, then it go to what? Rocks and sticks and stones, right? Or bullets and grenades or missiles. People don't understand that this is, we've been in a little cold war with them going back since the terrorists too, which is crazy, right? People fail to realize them terrorists still on. And Trump was, at the brink of really really pushing that, that wedge, between, I guess, our side of things between China, right? China virus and China. Well, he was going in too. Y'all remember them days? So the end result of that,
the China virus. Boy, that was funny.
Yeah, and they got so bad when they kicked them on social media, they scrubbed everybody that kind of put up something like that on the China virus and calling it that. So they punished you because of what Trump did. Like this, man, it's some lunacy out there. There's some straight lunacy out there right now. But nonetheless, again, these are moments where, of course, you need anything and everything you can to say, see, aha, I told you there was where there's smoke, there's fire, right? This whole TikTok ByteDance, scenario, the deal, value within it that they was trying to convey, and saying at least, Oracle, people like that will have a better, way to deal with them because they are software securitized scenario in itself. They should know or have enough layers of protocol in place to really make sure that they're not doing nothing nefarious, right? In this case, with Americans' information, you would think, right? As the saying goes, you would think. But these people are for profit, right? They are for profit. Do they really care? Do you think these people really care? Right? Because like anything, you say, okay, well, yeah, we'll pass the buck, right? Or it slipped, right? Like the Federal Reserve right now, they could just say, I made a mistake. After all that they did to cause this inflation and mess up everybody's situation. The housing value, the job scenario, their buying power, everything, and all this, they can say now, we were kind of, we made a mistake. No one goes to prison. Right? See, this is the games these corporations play, right? And how so many times a lot of these politicians are just, as complicit as they claim they are not, in essence, when these things are happening. It's like, man, we are so beyond, like, okay. And they used to say back in the day, like, common sense it's not so common, right? It's a dying breed of people who still, move with common sense these days, right? Like that, the age of airheadedness is like at all-time high. Right? With all this information that's out there, people are still moving as if it doesn't matter when it comes to being, at least responsible for the level of information they should at least be trying to equip themselves with from an autodidact perspective. Like just to be purposely ignorant and fold with the society, when society is definitely showing that it's sick in a lot of ways. Now, we're literally on the cusp of people trying to administer some form of bridge for pedophilia. They literally had, again, I know may get a little pushback on this one, that's fine. They got, drag queens coming to school to read to little kindergarten and first graders and second graders and third graders about sexuality. I'm just saying, right? When is enough enough? And how far are people going to go when they got children and trying to at least allow their children to be all inclusive, but still navigate all that foolishness? Some people ain't even got a choice. They just stuck, right? Unless you just pull your kids out altogether and homeschool them, right? Right. But it is crazy. So there's so many things going on, of course. But yeah, go ahead. Somebody say something.
Oh yeah, I was going to say it's definitely a lot of foolishness because my niece and nephew, when I hear them having these little conversations in reference to school and conversations around the campus, I have to undo a whole lot. It's crazy. I feel like, what in the world is going on? So I have to talk to them about using easy accessible information to their advantage versus a gossip session.
Right.
Knowing how to research properly, knowing where to get info from, that type of thing. So I'm constantly, so it sounds, for them, it sounds like I'm always gotten them in academic mode, but based on what they have access to, if you're not talking to your kids, man,
somebody else is.
Woo.
That's a simple way to put it. Right.
Good luck. That's how they on antidepressants so early.
Yep.
Can't decipher information.
You're right. You're right and exact. I'm like, if you're not going to brainwash your children, somebody is gladly to do it for you. They're gladly to do it for you because everything that they're pushing is to separate your child from your not only your energy, but your directives, right? Your preservation of your ancestry, and that's to the things that that preceded you, right? You are the progeny of someone that came before you that laid some bricks. At what point did we deviate, right? And somebody took a hard left off that and went to something completely, off the beaten path. Essentially, that's what they're doing now with these new kids. They're trying to take them completely off the true, I should say this that way. I got to air quotes this, off the organic plane of reality into something completely off the beaten path here. Because you cannot make a sane case of organic value about all this ignorancy that we're seeing today. That's just from where I sit. I got to speak for myself on this. I get it. I understand. Right? But there's certain things in life that are not worth compromising. It's just certain things. No matter what the fold is, right? Meaning what the crowd says. Again, pulling from Uncle Cat, again, a well-organized lie. Boy, defeats the disorganized truth every single time. Boy, Joker's trying to go against science only when it benefits them. My body, my choice. But what? Just yesterday they were saying what? Take the vax, you stinking selfish so-and-so. It's not your body. It's not your choice. This is for what? For everybody. You take that vaccine. It should be mandatory. You ain't got no choice. And everything, even with the science, was like, this is too ambiguous. But yet they made it a draconian measure, so much so that it's killing what? It's killing corporations right now. It's killing the airline industry right now. Them same draconian measures. Ain't that something? Now you got a shortage of pilots. You got people logged jammed up in the airports, can't get to where they need to go. They stuck because now they got to what? If they don't get on that plane, they're going to get hit across the head from what? Gas prices. See how the domino effect work? Got him. I'm like, you know what? I'll stay at home anyway. I'm straight. I don't go anywhere. I'm straight. Right? And I don't wish you don't know about it, but yeah, people out there having to deal with that. Like y'all kind of help aided and abetted in this, bro. Y'all were right there saying, yo, man, make them boss. And now that's the side of boomerang dagger come back around. It comes back around every time, right? Boy, that boomerang dagger serious. And we seen that nation high record gas prices at the most busiest travel season ever in American value. And even now, I would say American history because everybody was locked up in quarantine for so long, so people couldn't wait to get out now, right? So people are gonna be traveling at record numbers now. People ain't seen their people like physically in like almost a year and a half. So they were gonna be utilizing these days off to really get out there, and they getting hit across the head from food and gas and everything else that's inflated. Like you got to pack a lunch to get on the road for about 12 hours now. You can't even stop nowhere. Like, bro, we can't afford that. Bucket of chicken cost you a bucket of 12-piece bucket of chicken on two sides cost you about $40, bro.
We get you one of them
on what planet?
You better bring it with you.
That's what I'm saying. You got to pack your own lunch now to travel. It's that bad, bro. Where you going on a field trip? Old school. They took everybody back to field trip days. Man, we got some bologna sandwiches in the back, bro. Bologna sandwiches. Hey, bologna sandwiches at 30. Man, look, it's hard out here. Man, get you one of those sandwiches and sit down somewhere. Mom want to stop at Arby's and Chick-fil-A and look, we got bologna sandwiches back there and some great value chips. Sit down somewhere. Your daddy upset up there. You already, man, you hot, you sweaty because you can't run the AC the whole trip. You sweating. Like, bruh.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
That's hard out here, ain't it? Boy, people, again, taking it full circle. And all these people now that's going to be, again, log jam at these little, the pilots. I saw some today with the pilots out there picking it, about, wages and all this stuff. And then I saw some today as well that the airline industry tried to come and get these little, entice these little pilots to offer them a little extra money, like, as if that's going, like you already, you boomerang dagger yourself. You went right along to them draconian measures that Biden put out, and you hurt your own industry. Trying to play the woke culture crowd goofiness. Ain't that so?
They gonna be hiring Captain Mac from my song playing in a minute.
You already know it, but
he got his wings when he got out.
Look at him, all up there in that DC 70, whatever the little pain be called. Boy, with the dice in the mirror and everything, boy, if I take it right on somewhere.
That's tough, boy.
Asking somebody where the keys at.
Right.
Yeah.
Where that alarm at? Where that key fob at? I don't hear no alarm. Boop, boop, boop. Be like, boy, hold on, it's a plane, bro. Ain't no door locked.
Y'all better not get on the plane, man. Y'all gonna be out of there.
Bro, I'm talking about it's hard out here. And weirdly so, it's just getting started because we're speaking about the recession in its infancy stage, because essentially that's what it is. It's in its infancy stage, clearly. We've been, really going on this stuff for quite a while now, right? Going back during the thick of the pandemic, and we was like, okay, these are going to be the desired end results or effect of this if they continue on the way that it's going, because all this helicopter money, this, at the third. Okay, well, somebody got to pay for that, right? Who's gonna foot that bill? If ain't nobody working, who gonna have to carry that bill? And it was almost obvious, right? They were just setting the taxpayer up, setting them up. And now everything hitting the fan. Guess who's holding the L's right now? Taxpayers.
Yeah, buddy.
As much as you can say blame it on administration, but at the end of the day, them people got bread, right? At least enough they can weather this stuff. People who didn't have that and they were shut down for almost a year and a half because of quarantine. How they gonna fight? What you gonna fight with?
Can't.
I mean, it's brutal. And they talking about 8.6 inflation. Boy, they don't stop. They need to stop. Boy, they know that thing every bit about 17, 18%. Stop playing with these people. Thinking everybody's slow. Like, bro, yeah, we from the school of Milton Freeman, right? Y'all ain't finna get us with that fake model mess y'all got. Get out there with that little stupid behind core PCE cookbook mess behind as well. And you still be missing on the stuff that you cooking. Ain't that bad? They can't even cook the stuff that they used to cook with, and it's still exposing them. Tragic, bro. It's that bad out here. Again, when your political civil service become congeniality type of celebrities, wannabes, it's game over. It's game over. Right? Cops are runaway roads. They just all over the place. Wild beast savages. Politicians turn the blind eye because they can keep their corporate bag coming. Ain't nobody really doing nothing to really put nothing out there to really on the ground to really get people what they need. Clergy taking advantage of people left and right, up and down the line, obviously. I mean, we can go on for days. Drag queen showing up at the school to speak to little Bobby about sexuality. He don't know nothing about that. Never heard about that. Shouldn't even be thinking about that. Now he got the opportunity where he can go change his whole identity overnight. And you can't do nothing to stop it. Or they'll come after you. The parent, they're going to come after you. What 5, 4, 5, 7, 8-year-old know how to call certain shots like that? Bruh, it's real like it, boy. I'm just saying. Look, it's hard out here. But it's at a point now, like I said, just given the extent of things, and so I will go down on record saying, you know what, as a person who's like anybody else in this, right? We're peers in this stuff. We're growing, we're doing what we can wherever we can. And it does not make us perfect, does not make us, different. It just makes us determined. That's what separates a lot of us. We're determined because we realize the extent of how a lot of this stuff is unfolding. And you have to have something to insulate yourself with at some point. Be it the knowledge enough where you can make moves, or if you're able to acquiesce some kind of profit value within this to make, insulate yourself behind, some kind of form of, a sanity wall, right? I call it, that's what it really is. It's really a sanity wall, right? You got to keep it all the insanity, having resources, so some kind of value or knowledge helps you do that, right? Because it's easy to fall and fold, right? It's easy to fold for the crowd, right? It's easy to fold for it, right? But when you can stand on your square, look, priceless. It has to be said that, being, not that commercial woke stuff, because, they even hijacked that, right? Like, they hijacked wokeness. Like, how do you hijack wokeness? Wokeness it's like when they say, the truth don't need a spokesperson because it is what it is. Like, being woke does not need fake spokesmen to say what they feel like wokeness should be. That's just more cherry picking as it always has been. Right? It's cherry picking. But wokeness is direct, right? It's just an act of awareness and consciousness based upon some basic, streamlined, mundane, fundamental things that on any value of a litmus test, you're not going to be able to beat it up or down its value. It's just direct and solid in terms of what it provides on a conscious, innate level. Like, you don't think twice when you see certain things, hear certain things, you instantly know, okay, that's what it is. Right? Because not only let your inner, aspect of your being recognizes it and resonates with that. Like, it, you feel it and you see it and you can understand it and comprehend it. That's the extent of the wokeness. Like, people, like, again, you watch somebody, going through some kind of form of infliction, like somebody getting raped on a train, everybody sitting down in their seat, just sitting there watching it, as if they don't know that's happening, right? And then as soon as the news bites start coming around and start interviewing people, they like, well, I don't know, I thought, they were just more just, they were just having a bad argument or something. Like, dude, you actually saw this man rape this woman, or pull this, and did this. And like, are you kidding me? It's that kind of bad how people are now becoming desensitized to what they really know and what they see. And so when it gets to the point where it starts affecting our children, that's when it's game over. Because right now there's a mission, for your children. I mean, again, can we not tell the truth? Everything that Disney been doing for up to this point, straight grooming. Is it safe enough to say that now? Is it still too soon? Is it too soon? Too soon? Straight grooming. Got our kids all jacked. They running pedophile rings. They getting busted by the police. It's just a hot mess over there at Hot Disney. And it's been going on since. So I don't know. I'm just happy to be around individuals like you all who ain't gonna negotiate the certain aspects of your being. And I say salute to you all, because there ain't no shame and standing on your square. Right? Because Joker gonna come, right? They're gonna at some point, Joker gonna try to box you in. You know what's gonna happen, right? They call it corporate policy. It's kicking you in the draws. I think they'll be saying, one of them jokers saying that, like corporate policy be kicking people in the draws all the time. Yeah, because they want you to conform. They want you to acquiesce. So that's the importance of why we say you got to have other means of streams of income value, other fallbacks, however you look at it, and not give people so much soul power over your being. From an alternative perspective, it's not even negotiable, to even think twice about entertaining somebody that's trying to move you off your conscious square, your moral square, and your financial square. Like I just don't see it. But hey, to each his own. Even though I don't really believe that statement, but I'm just saying it. But because it's like, seriously, at this point, they want people to just fall. They want you to fold. They want you to be a part of that herd mentality, and they just accept this stuff. Right? There's enough material out there right now. If we was really them type of content creator, we'll be on for hours and hours and hours with all kind of stuff that we could just put out. But that ain't our lane. Right? That's not even our lane. We'll leave that to people who like that kind of stuff and, whatever. But, for what it's worth, hopefully, again, we can continue to try to add value wherever we can in terms of, our gifts, talents, and, things that we can offer. And we'll let people be the deciding factor, because we not browbeating people to do this, that, the third. At least I can say it from, being in this community for a minute. I know, people here are, straight shooters, straight shooters. All right, so that's it. So guys, so I just, freestyle Market Friday a little bit, of course the market is what it is, right? We know what happened today, right? They pulled up, they pulled what they were going to pull, typical, right? Wasn't nothing new even with that. The first day of the third quarter, right? Kind of the first day of the month, also the month, right? All kind of welfare checks with cash today, huh? Right? Market welfare checks. Yeah. This is a whole nother different ratchet situation over here. Boy, yeah. Right. So, like I said, even within that structure, just for here on the way out the door here before I get off here, just looking at the SPY here. I mean, none that we haven't already prepared for, and I've just been very, I just been loving it, man. I've been like, we've been really putting our thinking caps on and just kind of being able to trap this market, right? We've been trapping all this volatility. We've been trapping these pivots, right? These peak to trough sessions, right? These peak, resistance support points, this, ambiguity of chop, accumulation zones, right? These kill boxes. We've been trapping this market. I've been loving it. I'm seeing, that level of consistency just starting to grow. Right? You've been killing it over, Chris. Over Brandon, I saw you posting, crushing it, right? You putting that stuff to practice. And Sister Monica, you already know you ain't never 2 seconds away from being able to kind of make it happen, because you're starting to see how it resonates, in any form of your practice business, and even to the ideal of the market itself. How everything is such symbiotic, right? When you're dealing with a set of information and how you should interpret it to get an end result, some kind of form of ROI. All right, it's all synonymous in more ways we can even imagine. And so I'm just loving it, man. I'm loving it, like McDonald's right now, watching people, make those kind of, making those moves right now. So in closing, guys, if you will, on the way out the door here, you guys been putting out some great trades, just periodically recently here. So if you will, want to talk about, some of your great winners here on the way out the door, individually, you can find which one particular one you maybe can go in there and tell everybody what you did, what you were seeing, how you was able to get to the bag. If you could, guys, that'd be great. So it doesn't matter who go first, if you will, but I definitely want to share this with the airways.
Well, I did play General Mills on the earnings, and I'm just happy to see people continue to eat their cereals, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms.
They make them them charms. Yep. Yeah, boy. General Mills been around for a minute too, boy. This ain't no, ain't that new stuff. Ain't that cautious stuff out there.
Yeah. And I got them in my long-term portfolio as well. I think it's just
Tell
one.
them what kind of company, what space are they in? What sector are they in?
I think that's a consumer staple.
Damn. And
It's
so when you think about the word staple, what does staple mean to you when it's a consumer staple type of item?
It's a necessity, a necessity item because it's food.
Ubiquitous. Got them.
Yeah.
Use case. So 100% use case.
So, and even with price hikes on on the cereal and milk and all that stuff, I mean, like, it's a necessity. People still gonna want to eat cereal because it's part of the breakfast. Instead of going to McDonald's paying $8-9 for a sausage biscuit, hash brown orange juice, so buy your box of cereal, milk, get the same thing, and you get to eat it more than once. So
multiple servings.
Right. And like you said, man, it's an old company. It's an old relic. It's gonna be okay. It can survive inflation and whatnot. And I don't think it's overly priced at this point. And I'm gonna keep buying, and I'm gonna keep expecting people to eat cereal. So,
I mean, just look at their financials here real quick here.
right.
Just a quick little overview here. Market cap's around about 45 billion. They pay a yield, right? They got a good yield, right? Even from the price of what the stock is. The stock is up a little bit more than normally has been, but that yield's still decent for where the price is at. Let's keep it 100 because they're consistent. That's the one thing about it. Even with yields, you want companies that provide a consistent yield, right? You don't want them putting on the yield, then they dropping it, 3 quarters later. Like, man, what was that about, right? Right? Y'all not mapping this out right? And they're consistent. Again, and just looking at some of the basics, look at the income statement here. Look at that growth coming off back in 2018. Right? Look at the revenue in relation to the net value of the income. And even the net income is starting to creep up higher. They're netting more. The revenue in itself is still growing, right? But even at a point where you got your hands a lot of stuff, because y'all know the food space is very kind of tight margin to a degree. Unless you have extraordinary times like right now, right? With inflation. This gives you margin power. And you got a ubiquitous item that people can't somewhat be without. That makes it even sweeter. You in the sweet spot, right? The sweet spot. Same thing. Look at the balance sheet. Look at that debt to equity ratio, total assets to liability. Look at the assets up here to the level of the liability. Liabilities are basically dang near non-existent. Up against the reality of the goodness of that revenue. That's a whole 10 billion plus cushion on the asset aspect. And of course, y'all know anything about business. Y'all know debt equity. You want that to be balanced. Actually, you want to have enough. You want to have good debt. There's a thing called good debt, actually, right? And a good value of asset value, right? That asset value sitting at a good 60, a nice 65%. That's a really good debt equity ratio for a company who's been around this long, who figured out how to balance their books and stay kind of with the time or ahead of the curve based upon their pricing power. Essentially, what General Mills is doing right now, they're exercising their pricing power. Them extra 30, 40 cents for that box of cereal, 70 cents. Who gonna deny them kids them boxes of cereal? Well, they gonna tear your house up if you don't get them cereal. Before you go, everything gonna be red. But who done broke in the house, man? Look, Donnell them just they didn't get them cereal this morning. You to my tripping. They tore the place up, bro. You could have paid that extra 70 cents and you wouldn't have had this problem. See how see?
Yeah, and that's the difference. That's kind of like General Mills is like the difference, even with like a Walmart or Target. So consumers, will kind of start penny pinching, and spending less, going to the stores or whatnot. But when they do go, they still getting cereal and milk. It's like Oprah said, kids want the cereals. We want their Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and especially it's summertime now, so they at home more.
Home. It's the more for less theory. You got to be provide, for bigger head count now, and you need what? You need quantity, right? Right? They say they can debate the quality whenever, but now you need quantity, right? Because them kids cannot not fed. You see what I'm saying? They got to get fed.
Mm-hmm.
So these little places, moments like these are just golden for such as what a company to fill that void.
Right.
And it's not their fault. Like I say, we know who to blame squarely lies on when it comes to all this inflation. And I can tell you one thing: it's definitely not Putin's fault. It is not Putin's fault. If y'all need me to say it again, look.
He's funny for that one. Talking about Putin's price hike. I didn't know
I almost
over
spit
here.
my I spit that kid almost by itself. Boy, that Joker, no, he didn't come out. Boy, I tell you what, you talking about the Joker that's got a death wish to lose his next election. He just almost but certain. And like it's weird to we'll have that conversation again later too at some point because we already know where it's shaping up at this point. Where the Trump, boomerang dagging himself right now. It seems like it's gonna be DeSantis at this point. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And just for me again, just don't mess up my opportunity to get access to the market. We'll let them fight over all that other goofy stuff. In some cases, of course, I know it's gonna matter. I live in this like everybody else too, but we're trying to do things that separate us from in an autonomous fashion again from the fact that you shouldn't have to depend so much solely on the system, right? Because that's the whole issue with them now. They want the power. It's going to their heads. And they're mismanaging it so blatantly, like seriously. They want you to accept that this is normal, the way that they're sitting there just, killing your livelihood and passing the buck. No one wants to take responsibility for all the, the wretchedness that's happening that people got to deal with based on policy and, bad and distant. It's that bad now, right? It is literally that bad out there. So I don't know, but we're gonna stay on our, we're gonna stay on this beat here and keep pushing that information out there for the public. But yeah, you 100% right in that. Again, this was an easy play in the earnings. It was a given. It was literally a given, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like and I'm saying that because a lot of people are like, well, you can't exact science in the market. I get it, but we talk about a space that has. When I talk about, I've said this many times. A lot of our training sessions, right? There's stocks who have a semblance of being in certain spaces. Then there are stocks that are what pure plays. Pure plays are ones who have less exposure to a lot of the silliness, and they're just strictly direct to what they offer that gives them the better bang for your buck. General Mills being not a hard measure. There's no, they're a complete distributor value for those that ubiquitous need or use case within their items, right, within their portfolio. So they don't have the liability of the overhead of what stores have to have, right? They just paying for shelf space, right, and pushing them goods. So they don't have that liability. They just 100% pure play on straight consumer staples.
Yep.
But without all the overhead of discretionary things that come along with a department store, they got to also push the other stuff and deal with that headache. Hence, Walmart, Target got hit across the head.
Yep.
See, it's just knowing that much, right? Little common sense things like that. When you become more solid as an investor, you'll know how to move and maneuver better. And then these trades or these opportunities, these plays don't become so they're not so they don't seem so taboo or jaded in a sense. Right? They're notable enough to where you can put on that risk, understand all the dynamics, and pretty much good probability that you should reap a reward, unless something just go completely haywire. But at that point, as we would know, we would say it's worth the risk. If nothing else, we'll just hedge it. We'll do one up and one down, if nothing else. But for the most part, this right here seems all but a good certain value here.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Ober Chris bringing the register on General Mills. Again, nice little bag, right? We're talking about well into the 4 digits on that trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize it, man. Jokers out here making some moves. I'm just saying, he had to pull no teeth to make this decision too. I'm off, but certain because he knew what he was dealing with when he got into this for this trade.
Thanks.
And as an investor in itself, but hitting that thing twice, right? Double tap. They be saying like zombie movie, like double tap, shoot that 12 grade twice. Right?
Yeah.
Make sure Joker did. Right. So nice. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right on, Oba.
It's a solid trade, Oba. Shout out to you, Oba. Again, ringing the register here, making things happen. Again, there's many more coming because again, the way this market is starting to kind of open up here, we know that they're buying time. We know all the different variables on the table again that they're trying to hope come into fruition to bail them out. It ain't happening the way they want, so they're getting desperate. We pretty much know again, like I said, we are in a recession. I'll go in on that a little bit more as next time I go live. We've been talking about it like since forever, but it's coming to fruition now. No matter how much they're trying to hide it and down it or down talk it, it's almost but certain, right? Again, we've been watching the GDP now forecast for quite a while. Even Atlanta Bostic that puts out a lot of the most, at least some of the more credible information when it comes to the GDP readings and ratings. He's been pretty close and so forth. And his latest readings that came out literally today and the other day were just pretty much spot on again, which signaled exactly what I've been saying going on now about some months. Because I came out ahead of time and told people we was in a recession before the numbers came out. And people like, you don't even know what a recession is. I was like, I know what I'm saying. I know it's 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. We're not slow and short, but I'm telling you, we're in a recession. Right, based on the inflation, the stagflation, where we're going, because they can't put this Gina back in the bottom. We're headed for a recession.
Facts.
And here we are now, all but sorry. So the latest, if I think I posted, did I post in the group? The latest GDP Now tracker came out. We had negative 0.9 on the last one, and it ended up being revised up from even well, you say revised up because now with the negative integer, it got revised up from 1.5, negative 1.5 to 1.6. The next one, negative 2.1. They got no wiggle room. Now, if it was like about negative 1.74K, you can say that's some wiggle room there. They might cook them books, right?
Yep.
They came right out straight negative 2.1. That's a whole 0.0 what they call 0.06 integer. Like, how you gonna cook that point 0.6 integer? That's a whole lot of problems.
A whole lot
of problem for the feds.
And get out of that one.
I'm talking about, boy, they're gonna have to have what they say, the Hebrew chef, boy, they're gonna have to have some tightrope, boy, some tight church shoes on. Boy, look at him. They ain't gonna be, you can't look. You could, as they say, you could not today. I mean, it's literally to that extent. So yeah, and that readout comes out July the 28th. Mark that in the calendar, guys. You guys probably already knew that anyway, because y'all know we be on it. But that readout, the official readout comes out July 28th. We've been calling recession months ago. When it was beginning to be hinted about recession, we were like, dude, we already almost, but certain we're in it, bro. Stop playing. We know how to read the data. We're not riding the slow bus over here.
Nope.
So while we at it, Rick, let me go and post that data. Over Brandon, I don't know if you're still in the building. You want to talk about your trade as well before we get out of here? I don't know if you're able to. You might be busy, but yeah, I mean, we was already on top of that data, guys. We was on top of it, guys.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Let me go and post that while you going in over
my phone
on your trade. No, you good. You good.
What was it? I think I think you trade so much, you forget what trade you're
right. I know that happened a lot. Joker think I be, like, man, I'm like, nah, bro. I be, man. It do good for me to kind of,
CCL, that's it. Carnival
Cruise Line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hit that one. I noticed it was a gap up, and that was pure technicals too. And honestly, I think what saved me was the JP Morgan downsized, or the analyst downsized the actual stock. And when that happened, I woke up the next day to a bag.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was all pure technicals. I looked at the RSI, I was overbought on the RSI. The linear regression band was teetering there, and then from a previous gap up, I noticed normally in a gap up, it has to come down. So I was thinking like, all right, well, if it's gapping up, it's got to come down sometime soon. Well, since we're in recession, you think those gap downs are coming a little bit quicker than they should be. And sure enough, once that news came out, jumped all the way down.
I mean, clearly, classic double top up here, as you see here at this 1090. I mean, just straight money bag moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clear. I mean, coming out of the earnings, right? Because I hit it. I actually hit the earnings long, right? I like they played off this 52-week low, right? Remember the 52-week low was just on the 16th of June. We hit all the way back to the COVID lows on that date.
Yeah, you was talking about this one too.
Mm-hmm. We went all the way back to the COVID lows on that date. Real quick, I'll show you real quick on the daily chart here. Just kind of show people, why we was kind of, see right. I even got my little circle right there, right? Y'all know we be putting but Joe can't come for. I keep saying Joe they're gonna try. Like, no, bro, we was already mapping them gaps. So that was a gap right there too. It was a gap there, and then the 52-week lows going back on what the for the COVID scenario was down, of course, down near the 88, right? But that gap, y'all know how this stuff go. Once the stock start trailing or trending back up or down into that of an air pocket in the market or a gap, right?
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, directional value of the algos and the institution, they're going to push it into that gap field because now that gives them legitimacy that they closed that gap. And so it just kept coming down, getting closer anyway. So it was like at this point, and the cruise line was already still under all that stress because of everything else that we dealing with, inflation, and they still fight COVID. They start coming down like this right here, gapping down from up here around 11, 12. I said, oh, it's all but sir, we're gonna close that gap right here.
Yeah, like I said, that was pure technicals for me. Like I didn't really do any fundamentals. I mean, you can say I did some fundamentals, but that was just pure technicals right there. Yep, that's what I'm saying right there.
Yeah, being in the right space at the right time because you understand what's going on also from a climatic perspective of the cruise line industry, right? Not to reach to even have a natural observation, see what's going on. You see what I'm saying? For you even dig into deep in their fundamental, like, dude, this is a pure play on boat travel. If they don't have people lined up or they can't fill them boats, where the money coming from?
Right.
And they're doing some little something for a little piece of chain when the cameras ain't rolling. Ain't nobody. The captain allows the people to come on port, and then it turned into a strip club.
Hey, don't say that too loud. Don't say that too loud. They're going to owe you some money.
Right? Just like, look, bro, you blew our spot up, boy. That's what we be doing when we,
spokesperson come to your house like, who told you about that?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Caught Elon up in there and Gates up in there, all of them in there.
And then what I do? I think I bought another put a while back. This is a while back though on Navient, the loan company.
Yeah, loan company. Yeah, they're getting hit right now.
Oh, they're getting hit. I got it at like 1750, and I'm just holding it. I'm using it as a hedge for one of my long-term portfolios.
Who was that?
Nice.
It's a banking company, a loan company for like schools. I guess they do more than schools, but this is going through my school.
Yeah, I know Navient got hit up in that, a couple little dusty little scandals too, right? Well, that whole spot getting blown up in there with all the student loan, forgiveness stuff anyway, right? Because they're gonna be on the hook for those loans, right? The government either gonna pay them off, or they're gonna just have to, as they say, it's going to have to be a write-off, right?
Take that out.
Yeah, they're part of that still dusty crowd because they knew these companies these for-profit private school were just maliciously going after people writing bad paper. Same way they did with subprime lending crash. That's all it was.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to owe people all this money for these old borderline accreditations and stuff. It was just a hot mess. Like, but it's America. Like, what do you say? It's America.
It is. It is. And then I think I was looking at a long-term play. I don't know if you guys want to look at this, but it's WMMVF. And that's the Walmart of Mexico.
The OTC was Walmart.
Yep. And what I've been doing lately too is I've been looking at. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was asking, was that a warrant? A warrant?
No, I think that's
it would be like an ADR would be, or like a derivative of a subsidiary, listing.
Yeah.
Of Walmart for Mexico though.
I've been looking at that one, and what I've been doing is like every day since the market's been closing, I've been going to Yahoo Finance, and I've been looking at the top gainers and the top losers, and I've been looking for that up and to the right, seeing which stock in this down market can still hold and retain that up and to the right. You know,
45 days.
Yep. And then after that, that's when I do my due diligence. I look at the earnings. I look at their what they have when it books. If they have any free cash, anything like that.
Right.
And I'm just using these for my long-term plays. So, what I also want to tell you to run by you right quick. I think it's a good idea, but like if somebody has an exorbitant amount of money, saved up for like their 401k, you think they should take some of that money and put it into a brokerage?
Well, we have a post child for that, several to be exact, but one of the most notable ones, because you were around during that time, actually too, over at Brandon, because you come back from old school disco, like way back when in the very beginning. Who was the post child in our old school group that did it and made a big bag off of it?
It was some
ATL trader.
He did that?
Yep. And he did it, I think, during what? It was a 2015, 2016 time frame.
I think I remember I heard somebody.
Because you came in at some point, but you was in that at that point when ATL was still around too. So
that wasn't Mondo.
That Mondo might have did too, but ATL trader, ATL trader, like we talking about real stable job. You know what I'm saying? Mondo was, about a light 2 core, but I'm saying he was still young and growing, like with a lot of us.
Right.
But we talking about people who've been in enough where you can put away something in a 401k that's notable, right? Not that Mondo couldn't, but you get my point. But I'm saying ATL was, he was solid, right? Because he's solid, in that regard. But yeah, he took a good portion of it, and he took that same mainframe that we talk about a lot, right? Same way we talk about how we can show people how to be a little bit more thorough even than the 529 plan, or utilize it in a way where you can put that money to work, or principal-based investment over time, give it time to work its way through interest, accruing interest, even with letting the principal build. And he took a good boat of his. He ended up cashing it out altogether at one point, but he started with small port, then he went back and got a lot more because he was crushing it on them options, right? Him crushing it on them options. Between him and Connor, of course others too, but he took it, I think he said it was over six figures in the beginning, but I think then he took it way beyond I think well over what 400% extra.
And that's my whole thing right there. That's what I'm trying to do. Like I look at my portfolio in my 401k, and well, in the beginning of this year, I was up 40,000, and now looking at it now, I'm down.
It's tracking with the trend of the market.
Yeah, exactly. I called them up. I was like, "Yo, let me go ahead and just get all of my money out right now."
Yeah, that's why I moved my. That's what I'm trading off now. All that, working different places, and put my money up in the 401. I was like, no, I got to use this money.
So that's what it was. That's what it's really for. We got the misconception that it's supposed to be 100% Nasdaq use case and Nasdaq use case only. Like, no, this is money you already dollar cost average in. This is your money, no matter how you look at it. And any form of when you ready to make that the use of it, right? In the form of retirement. So it's like an insurance policy, right? Once it hits that point of emancipation or maturity, like a bond, you can cash it, right? Of course, if it's a whole policy, you leverage that cash.
Right.
You don't say, well, it emancipated. I'm already going to, self-inflict wound, kill myself, and then let somebody eat fried chicken off. No, bro, we finna work this, right? We finna work this. And it's the same reality. Of course, when you given the extent of how your education has grown and knowing how markets are trending and tracking, you'll be able to beat the returns on the market, at any given point. Just knowing how to be a little bit more directive in your decision making. Aside of a bread basket template value of a 401k. Now they try to make it low beta as possible. Y'all know what I'm saying? They try to make it low beta as possible, but it's still like, bro, you can still be safe and still beat their returns.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? It's like,
and then on top of that, you got fees too that they be charging you. Hidden fees that you didn't even know about. So I was like, screw it. I lost 10 grand in the beginning of this month.
Because in that regard, the Roth would have served you when you think about it, because that's the exemption value of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take this money out, put in my own brokerage, put a traditional, tell them to convert it over to an IRA,
Right.
you know, and then just trade it out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Kill the game, right?
You know, and it's not like. Go ahead.
No, you good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not like you can still copy the same 401k assets that you have from your previous employer. I mean, like that's what the lady told me. Like over the phone, she said she does that. She had a job. She made like $75,000. She looked up what she had in her portfolio. You know, was it 24 life plan C or something like that? She looked up what's in it. She went right over to a brokerage, put all her money into that. You know, kill some of the fees. A list,
you know, what they are like a thrift saving plan. Got them same tiers, the A's, B's, the C's, all the different type within the the beta value, what you're looking for within your risk tolerance, and kind of know what's going on in the back stock. The basket of the different stocks, of course, what's in it. So again, like it's like going to the spiders and seeing, the prominent aspects of that, which one has served well thus far, and you just shifting, right? You being able to rebalance without having to deal with all the penalties and fees, right? Mm-hmm. And if that ain't the case, if they're going to hit you anyway for fees, you might as well just do it yourself, right? Because you're going to incur some of those fees anyway. You'll incur less, when you could do it on your own, right? And you utilize this, the system against itself in terms of a Roth, right? Because now it's just like, okay, yeah, that's just, you got to worry about wash sales, none of that stuff. You just can repurpose it, and you kind of get that tax level of exemption, right? So you come out better than anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And you could do it quarterly, biannually, or annually, and definitely beat their returns. Definitely beat their returns.
It's all about trying to get around the system and making it more, your stick, your deal, and try to save some money at the end. Like when Chris said he puts his money into the actual his Roth. Don't even touch his money. Like you getting away with so much in taxes if you did. I mean, and Chris too. I want to ask you.
That's what it's designed for. Yeah.
No, I was going to ask you what kind of account do you use? Do you use your regular account, or do you have like a brokerage account that you put your money into? If you don't mind me asking.
Brokerage account.
Okay.
But
no, I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I got a regular cash account. Then, I was able to roll my 401k over to my TD Ameritrade account.
Okay.
I'm saying because brokers will do that for you too.
Yeah.
And they sure will. They're like, how you want them? Put it in the Roth. I don't even. Nah, I'll be speculating, but I don't live back here. I piecemeal it out, but put this in that tax exemption status side of the house, and because now they got it where you can trade options in the Roth now.
They messed up.
They messed up, boy, when they did that, boy. Like, what?
They messed up.
Boy, like, the Webull, I use my Webull, like I call my dirty money trade stuff like Webull Robinson, like that, boy, Boy, because not even Tasteworks got got now where you could do that now, right? But definitely Webull had it. Webull, like when they opened up option for on the Roth in there, boy, I was like, oh boy, it's on now. It's on, boy. It is on.
I think we special too. If you transfer like your account over, like they'll give you like a certain amount of money or something like that.
Yeah, they still in promotions and they promotion seeding. They definitely want your business, and that's the good thing about like a lot of these brokers that we keep telling people. They think we just be talking outside of our head. We're like, dude, they give you literally free money to put your money in their into their their facilities. Like show me a bank that ever went out their way to do that for you. One, name me one. Not I don't want talking about no toaster. I don't want that little stale, little dirty little peppermints be on the counter and the little pens. I'm talking about money, right? Show me a bank that done done that.
What E-Trade? I think they did a promotion. If you open up a Roth account, you get like $600 extra. I was like, what? Okay, let me get $100. Put it in there.
A couple hundred, and you only got to put like a couple thousand with them, and they instantly throwing you, a few hundred, whatever.
Right.
Like you could make this stuff up, and people think we just be saying something. We be saying like, you're like, bro, like, no, I'm serious, and there's no screening, bro. You just need to be able to fund that joker. You fund it, you in there. In there.
But let's say I got my my Lowe's 401k connected through E-Trade, And it says get up to $3,500 to open and fund a new E-Trade brokerage or retirement account by August 31st.
They run them promotions. I'm into my, and even though in moments like now, recession, you think ain't nobody trying to kick out the money, but they still running them promotions hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still doing stash parties and stuff. Like, Joker, man, I'm like, man, look, all right. Because they understand the boom and bust cycles too. They building right now in aggregate for what? When everybody come out of this, they're going to have that surplus. All that head count, all that access to capital, right?
Yep.
And not all that goofy stuff with order flow selling that Robinhood, even though it's still, it's still hooking and cooking over there too. But nonetheless, it's, for what it worth, it'll provide you with opportunity, and it's by value of the SEC, FINRA values that they got to honor your scenario. Again, even though they got a dusty model to a degree and it's cumbersome to get through it, but it still provides you that level of what? Anonymity power on the financial side. So that stuff is like large in life that people just be missing because they think they can play the game of what? They'll wait out opportunity. And yet in the process that they're blowing good capital on indiscriminate, goofy stuff, trivial things, when that money could have been sitting in a Roth, or at least just building in a Roth.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna spend $2 a day on that 100, but I'm gonna put it straight to my Roth. I'm not gonna spend this $6 a day on this little chicken bucket. Whatever. I'm gonna put it in my Roth. Right? Let it build. Nothing. Let the principal build alone. And then before you know it, you got a nice little a little coffer of opportunity, money sitting there waiting to go to work, protected under the tax codes, right? Like but that's why I would say for that. We know, we said, like I said, we don't browbeat people. We know when people's appointed time, they'll come, right? But it's all about still keeping the information relevant and keeping it edified, because at some point, it does resonate, right? It does resonate to people, right? Just like tonight, we just did had our little moment here, but on the back end, on the dope, quick little what they call steel sharp and steel. Hey, I'm making this kind of move. Oh, you been down that road? Okay, what'd you do? I did it this way. Bam. Now you got something to work with, right? See, that's what these sessions are supposed to be about. That's what they always been about. I'm not going to say it's supposed to be about, because that's what we've been doing anyway. Ain't it like we ain't new to us, but we know we may have somebody out there that may be listening, who may be interested, but they may be still caught on that that old shy bus. Like, man, I'm not do that these days, man. People, it's real out here. You got to get with a crew in 2022. You got to get with people, man, who are who at least at their base case, they're very consistent and where they commingle at. They're in spaces where they at least are afforded opportunity. Right? That in itself is powerful, because we realize that any given moment or time could be what? It could be about that life, right? I mean, a moment, right? Where you, as they say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Let one of them start shape up. And you mess around, made one of them big transfer. Oh, boy, okay. Right? Mm-hmm. We're going to Sizzles tonight. We're going to Sizzles tonight, bro.
We're going to Sizzles.
This is love. Oh my Lord. So I love it, man. Like I said, I'm just proud that the growth and evolution is evident. We're gonna stay on this train. We real people like everybody else do. We know how to have fun. But again, we moving from a place of knowing how a lot of this stuff is shaping up and how it's working, and we're gonna stand on these squares. We're gonna stand on these financial squares from our disposition. And make things happen. All right, so I'm excited for that. So I'm getting ready to get out of here, guys, and hit that 10 hour. It's been a great little powwow. I enjoyed it, man. And like I said, you guys are, are super awesome. Thank y'all for tuning in. A little impromptu moment of what they call Freestyle Market Fridays, right? Maybe we can get this going. Try to make it consistent at some point. Have a little fun, kick back. We used to do this stuff obviously with our brother Sal back in the days, right? Even to this day, I still keep it in my consciousness, clear with that brother, right? Because y'all know the story behind that, even with me and Sal back in the day. But I always kept it 100, right? And I never made that stuff more than what people at the time tried to make it, right? And whatever he's doing, I just wish him the best. But we used to have some really great powwows, man, and just a meeting of the minds when people came together from all walks of life, and we were just building like that. Like who wouldn't endeavor to want to have something like that? But y'all know stuff goes sometimes it get a little crazy, but it just a lot of too many personalities possible. I don't know what's going on, but you know, it's always been about the information for me, and it will always be about the information. I will never move off that square, no matter where people come at in this, where they go, however it is, how people even want to look at you. We get it, right? Again, money does things to people, or the ideal of perceived power does things to people. Right, but for me, again, I don't even look. I'm at a place in my life. I'm solid, and I'm not changing.
Absolutely.
Currently, what we're trying to do here, we're trying to establish and ignite a movement in places where we know it's needed. That's the difference, right? So that's why it's personal, because we know there's a lack of financial literacy. And that don't necessarily make us gurus or educators at the point where we can say we this and need that. We don't claim that. We never have claimed that, right? We're just saying we're gonna work with some primary source of information where that can be back tested. That way you can't come from us that way. It's up to you to make your own decision. But for one point, from one aspect of it, you're gonna get stuff by the value of what is at base case primary source information. Right. So I'm excited for that. So that's it. Cause I ain't got nothing else, guys, on the way out. Y'all got any parting words on the way out? So we get out of here. All right, y'all guys get ready to travel, right? You got what today? Yep, 4th of July be around the corner, but hit y'all Monday. So
check out the check out the documentaries I put out, man. A lot of good information.
Yeah, plug your channel real quick too. I have to keep every time we go live, get your throw it on in the back chat, Open Chris, and again, I know you be busy and a lot of things, making move, but because I can say shamefully, so I didn't know you had the Facebook business page. You might have mentioned at one point, but stuff we be all over the place in a lot of places sometimes.
Yeah,
that one missed me. I like, man, I had to go like your page. I like, dang, I didn't know Chris had the Facebook business page, and think the Donovan just check on anyway, just query it maybe. But I saw he got a business page. Let me make sure I go support it. But man, you get a chance to plug that stuff, man, and throw it in the little in the back chats and things like that. Whatever. At some point, at some point, we continue to grow it out on a little pace, and who knows, 5-6 months down the road, just seeing your information, and that's how it should be, right? Your network determines your net worth. People see it, out here thinking that we ain't out here working, because you definitely is a phenomenal template to show people, right? You moving in silence, but your actions are loud as what? Loud as an owl outdoors. See, that's how it should be, right? And so shout out to you, man, and plug that stuff, man, every chance you get. And Sister Monica, she just got a new channel too, right? She spoke about her new channel, right? Give your stuff real quick over, Chris, all your stuff before we get out of here.
My YouTube channel is Seabreeze TV 012. I put it in the chat, and then my Facebook business page is Croft Services. And that's where you'll find, all the stuff I do with sneakers and whatnot.
And that's with a K, right? Croft
with
Services.
A K. Yes, absolutely.
Nice, phenomenal. Yeah. Right. Appreciate you a whole Billy Buck.
Absolutely.
Chris,
thank you,
man, everything that you're doing out here. So we appreciate you, and we definitely want to support you. Right, Sister Monica, I don't know if you're there still. I know it's late. We probably ran into. We trespass on Sister Monica boo time right now, man. It's boo hour. It's Friday too. Chill time. Watch moving kickbacks. So shout out to her again. Like I said, you see her name in the back chat, even on the YouTube. Just click on it directly from there. Go subscribe to her channel as well. Go support. Everything that sister's about. You already know what you're getting with her is gold standard. Is white glove. Nothing but that. Nothing but that good, right? And then the aspects of all things, business value, right? All things, right? From government grants to, again, from her, unflinching support, what she do for the veterans, right? Department of Veterans and many other different, attributes that sister brings to the table is just priceless. So shout out to her as always as well, and Overbrand as well, of course. On the way out the door, I know you ain't got a YouTube stuff, but your presence is just as much important because again, you're consistent.
No, I do. I just haven't put anything on it just yet. I use it sometimes when I watch you live on YouTube. It's
Gotcha.
Future Fund Show.
Nice. All right. So yeah, when you get a chance, plug it, man. So because I know right now, even though they're going this firestorm through all these social media sites, they taking everybody through the ringer now, right?
Yeah.
They cutting people off from ad revenue. It's bad out here now, boy. They just blowing up everybody's spot. They find a reason to try to get after everybody. It's they consume themselves. I say, man, these channels out here or the people who are, got real good messages to put forward.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this ain't us pocket watch nobody else. 'Cause a lot of people out here, them just be having gazillion views, and they be doing a whole lot of just like, what is this? Hey, but as we know, what sells, we know what sells, right? Everything that ain't got nothing to do with, but that's what it is, right? I tell people get your bag, but I still say there are some, people out here who working hard, who are consistent in what they're doing to try to, build a template for people they can, grow from, right? Actionable intel. And that's what I'm excited about highlighting that. So, you said Future Funds. So, Oprah Brandon.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely subscribe to them, guys. Again, let's build it. Let's build it little by little bit. We'll build these channels out. Right? And all the old squad, since we own it tonight, all the old squad, all the back in the days, right? The old Discord crew, everybody, right? And so many of them, I can name them all, and I knew I could, but just shout out to all them guys. If y'all out there doing y'all thing, shout out to Stock God. I think he posted something the other day where he getting that bag. Now he found a way to crack that code. And I think he said he posted it, and he's like, man, he went from mopping the floor, making $300 a week. Now he getting $10,000 every month. How you gonna hate on that? Anybody,
Okay.
how you gonna hate on that? Right? That's the success story stuff I'm talking about, man. Jokers out here been working, bro. That brother keeping his head to the ground and making it, just working on his craft. And he reaping the fruits of it. Ain't nobody can say they gave him nothing too, because he did it on his own. Right? That's the stuff I get excited about, because whatever these guys doing on here, they're doing that on their own. You guys willing, they willing them opportunities into existence. Right? Right. So again, how you gonna hate on that? That's all I'm saying. Right. So shout out to you all and all the old crew, right? And everybody came through tonight. Brother Mathis, Brother Ramsey. All right. Again, brother, everything came through the building as well. Anybody that just might have listened in down instead of typing, we appreciate you as well. And we look forward to having more sessions like this. So we'll see if we can make this, try to find a way to make these little moments, become consistent, right? So Freestyle Market Friday, or you talk a little bit about everything, but definitely bring it back home to the markets when it's all said and done, right? Because that's where that bag at, but where them bags at?
Thanks.
So I'm excited for that, man. So that's it, guys. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Stay safe. If you're out there traveling, people going to have road rage because they got to pay them high gas price. So you might want to ride the bicycle or the big wheel. Right? Don't get out there and bang your car up just try to deal with these old people. They're gonna be driving angry. They're gonna be angry, hungry, and angry at the same time. Gas prices. Right. So be safe out there, guys. Celebrate if you celebrate. Of course, I don't, but hey, whatever. Enjoy yourself. All I'm gonna say is time off. Right. Kick back and chill.
Right.
All right, guys. So that's it, man. I see y'all in the next one, man. So again, like always, we'll go out the way we came in. We'll little bangers. All right, this is the instrumental stuff. I ain't putting out no words. So we'll do a little instrumental stuff. Right. So everything wrapped up in today in one little picturesque video. All right. Shout out to everybody. Peace, power, profit, everybody.
Peace, power, and profit, y'all.
Peace, people.
All right, guys. That's it, guys. Peace, power, profit. Guys, enjoy your evening and your holiday weekend. And we'll see you guys back at this Tuesday.
All right. Peace, power, profit.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Family.
Peace, everybody.